a year to the EU after a reset. We'll go to the I paper now. The state pension triple lock under threat if the UK goes to war with Putin. The Guardian, alarm over toothless oversight of AI facial recognition systems. The Sun, what a World Cup stitch up. I couldn't believe the cost of tickets when Ben told me. The Express, cheers to you. The Independent, sent back to prison for petty theft more than 20 years later. The Mail, Labor plans to double parking fine fees. The Mirror, reform in new race row. And that's a run-up of the papers. Thank you so much to all of my panel. Thank you to everyone watching at home. Congratulations to all those woke celebrities out there, with a particular congratulations to David Tennant. Up next, The Late Show Live, hosted by the one and only Ben Leo.
Well, thanks very much. Of course, loads of small boat migrants entering the UK since Friday. What is going on there? Why can't we get a grip of it? I'm going to expose some bombshell research from Finland, the first in the world, which proves maybe for the first time why this keeps being allowed to happen. Also, World Cup tickets. Is it the most expensive World Cup in history? And why are so many Brits now relocating to Florida? Surely it's not just because of the weather. I'll see you in a sec.
I'm Andrew Pearce. This is GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah.
Uncensored. Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace to
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News.
the People's Channel?
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
And
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Buckle up, Britain. It's going to be quite a ride. Votes are being cast and counts are gearing up in elections across the country. Everything could change.
From the first result to the inevitable aftermath. We'll be across it all. Vote 2026, the people decide. From 11 p.m. Thursday night, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Does Chopper need a coffee?
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I'm Bev Turner. Thank you for joining us on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. A diplomatic push towards Europe.
Yes, the Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer arrives in Armenia for a key European summit.
Well, the PM is expected to push for closer defence ties with the EU, including joining a multi-billion-pound loan scheme to support Ukraine.
It marks a significant shift in post-Brexit talks, but is this cooperation or a step closer to Brussels once again?
Well, the first thing the Prime Minister did here in Armenia was meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky. Zelensky very, very happy with what our king said in America.
A deadly virus scare at sea as 3 people die and a British passenger fights for his life after a suspected outbreak on a cruise ship.
Hello, good morning from Washington, D.C., where President Trump has launched a fresh military effort to reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
Hollywood draws a line on AI as the Oscars ban computer-generated performances. We're going to be debated whether artificial intelligence is ruining art. That's at 7:20 this morning.
Sticks, bells and centuries of tradition, Morris dancing takes place across Britain this bank holiday, celebrating the start of the summer.
And sport this morning, will Spurs move out of the relegation zone with their best performance of the season, and it's against Aston Villa's worst. Manchester United get Champions League football. Still haven't given the job of the manager yet to Michael Carrick yet. And with too many disruptions, Shaun Murphy trails 10-7 to China's Wu Yize in the World Snooker Championship final, which continues later.
Some of us will see some spells of sunshine this bank holiday Monday, and others some heavy, thundery showers. Find out all the weather details coming up soon.
Good morning, it's just gone 6 o'clock. I'm Ellie Costello, this is Alex Armstrong, and this is GB News Breakfast. Happy Bank Holiday Monday, if you're up early, which you shouldn't be, you should still be in bed. But
Yes.
We're all here, aren't we?
We are.
How was your
It's
weekend?
just another day. Yeah, it was okay, actually. Well, Spurs won yesterday, so I'm very happy.
Very good.
I'm concerned about the film thing, though, the AI thing. So what is it are they doing? Do you know?
Oscars
How much of it?
banning the AI-generated performances.
So when you say
Probably
performances, are they actually the actors
I guess
who are actually doing stuff?
animations, but made with AI.
Right, OK.
Kind of thing.
So you've
But
got
that's a good thing for actors. They'll be delighted with that.
I think
Keeps
so.
them in work.
Yeah, you use it a lot, though, don't you, AI?
Yeah, I use it for some things, not art, though.
I'm actually AI generated today, by the way. I'm actually in bed right now.
But it is quite handy, yeah. There are benefits to it, but not with art. You don't want people to be out of
I
jobs,
know.
do you?
It's a fine line.
Anyway, let us know what you think. gbnews.com/your say. Now, let's have a look at our top story this morning. The government has announced that it intends to start talks to join the European Union's €90 billion loan for Ukraine. That's £78 billion, as it seeks to bolster support for Kyiv and deepen defence ties with the bloc. Well, the Prime Minister is in Armenia, where he will tell leaders at the European gathering that Britain wants to work more closely with them. Well, let's speak now to broadcaster and commentator Christo Foufas, who joins us in the studio. Morning to you, Christo.
I'm also not artificial intelligence. In fact, there's barely any intelligence here.
Not true.
Thank
Simply
you.
not true. You're actually going to tell us what the Prime Minister is aiming for with this summit today. What's he there for?
Well, yes, this is the summit that's being held, as you said, in Armenia. It's the European Political Community Summit in Armenia, where there will be discussions about a potential reset with the European Union. Now, what's contentious about this is the idea that we will have to hand over vast sums of money to the EU in order to have access to the single market. Now, some people are saying it could be up to £1 billion a year because, as you know, we've got so much cash to splash around at the moment as a condition of further access to the single market. The European Union want Keir Starmer to make this concession in principle, and then there will be more detailed integration negotiations along the line. And I can give you a quote, apparently, that the Times are running this morning from a European diplomat. They said, if the UK wants further integration, they must pay to play.
Yeah, I guess many people at home will be seeing this story. And of course, we're talking about close ties with the EU, we're talking about money for Ukraine, we're talking about so much going away. 1 billion quid if we want to be closer to the EU, 78 billion pounds, is it million or billion? I couldn't quite remember, to Ukraine at a time when we can't even...
Billion, yeah.
Yeah, 78 billion.
Billion.
This is a loan scheme because of the fact that America's support of Ukraine has somewhat waned. There was this loan scheme for Ukraine that was mooted for £78 billion. Now, that was there was an impasse about that because Hungary were against it. Now Viktor Orban has gone from Hungary. It looks like it's going ahead now, and the UK also wants to be a part of that, wants to try and make some money out of this loan scheme, and that will be part of the money that they need to hand over as part of this £1 billion.
But, Krista, we haven't got any money. We're broke. And this is the thing, while we've been told constantly, time and time again, warnings. We had a warning last night that Britain hasn't even got enough defence to defend itself from ballistic missiles. We're handing over cash to foreign countries. And listen, don't get me wrong, I support Ukraine in their war against Russia. But at the same time, we're leaving ourselves massively wide open.
What's interesting as well, I think if anyone said, look, we're going to try and facilitate, because we ended up with a terrible Brexit deal, like we did. I mean, we ended up with a Brexit deal that Boris Johnson negotiated that made absolutely everyone unhappy. If there was a mechanism by which British businesses, I think, could more easily trade with the EU without us having to be integrated in them, I think most people would say, actually, that's OK, because British businesses have got a lot more red tape now. I think what will stick in a lot of people's craw, going to your point, Alex, is the fact that, well, hang on, why are we having to pay so much money for this? And this idea of closer integration, will this mean that actually the European Union will then start having a say once more, even further on the standards that we have, on the laws that we need to actually implement around products we might sell? In which case, that then starts to go directly against what people will say they voted for.
And that's what scares people, isn't it? That's what frightens people when they see stories such as this. But we have got this European diplomat, he's a source on the front page of the Times this morning, saying that actually this would work more like a Swiss-style deal. So we would contribute to annual EU budgets to reduce economic, social and territorial disparities across the bloc. So it makes things smoother.
But I don't understand that. You're right.
But he does go further to say we were not able to cherry-pick.
The Swiss pay €375 million a year in order to access the single market. But again, freedom movement of goods, and I know the single market is a little different to this, but that starts to get into the realms of free movement of people. So again, will that end up being a part of it? Because a lot of the people that are outside, the countries that are outside of the EU, still have free movement of people, even though they're not part of the whole of the European Union. But secondly, as well, why? I thought the whole point of us leaving was that we'd have a trade deal, meaning that we wouldn't need to do any of this stuff. So I think, again, a lot of people will be saying, well, hang on, why are we paying? It's almost like a subscription service. Well, if we offer the best deal for a certain product, isn't that enough for us to be able just to sell that product?
So true, Christo. And do you know what this reminds me of? People forget about this now because it's been so long since we, of course, had the referendum. But David Cameron went on a tour of European Union countries before we had the referendum to get a new deal for us, which would have basically put us where we're at today, which is half in, half out. And everyone said this is the worst possible solution for Britain. We're either going to be in it or we're going to be out of it. And it seems to me what we're doing is dragging ourselves closer back to the EU again, but without the powers that we had previously. We might as well have stayed in at this point if the Prime Minister's going to drag us back in without a vote.
And look, I voted Remain from a business perspective, but I absolutely thought that if we did leave, great, we're going to end up, remember Singapore on Thames, we're going to have really low taxes, we're going to have people can't wait to do business with Britain, because at least without being tied into EU laws, we can set those. We can subsidise companies and industries that need them. We can do startups. We can sell trains to British firms that are going to be made by British companies, which we weren't able to do before. All of that stuff. None of that's happened. And what we've ended up with is this, as you say, this weird half in, half out. We're not even shaking it about. So I think that a lot of people will be quite perplexed by this, but the balance that has to be set here, I think, if I were Keir Starmer, would be, well, actually, my own policies have caused economic stagnation in the country I'm in. America, the ties with them aren't great at the moment because I've alienated them. What on earth do I do to try and drive the British economy a bit more forward?
That so depressing. It is, yeah. It kind of ties into what the Prime Minister was writing in the Sunday papers yesterday. He was saying that the world has changed since Brexit, and so that's why we need to look at this sort of deal. He's talking about, we've changed our economy. Brexit has damaged our economy, he says. There's no doubt in my mind that this is where the national interest lies, and that Britain now has to be the heart of a stronger Europe on defence, on security, on energy, and on our economy. Has the world changed? Do you think this is where the public lie on this?
Well, I don't care if it's where the public lie on this. I mean, I think that look, is there an argument for 20 years down the line, another referendum when there is an entirely new generation? Because that was around the time that there was the referendum after our original entry, about 40 years. Well, that I would probably be in favour of. But no, the world hasn't changed enough. And the problem is that there have been such a raft of excuses from this government, whether it be Iran, whether it be Brexit, whether it be America. I mean, there is every excuse under the sun that they give in order to justify their own economic mismanagement.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is going to be the latest one. Well, look, if we don't do this, things are going to get worse. Or if not, oh, look over there at Iran. Oh, things are terrible. Oh, look over there at what Donald Trump's doing. Things are terrible. Oh, look, there are the tariffs. When in actual fact, their own domestic agenda has created so many of the problems that we're in that I don't know if a lot of people buy it.
Yeah, this is the thing for me, is that we're constantly told that Brexit is to blame, Brexit is to blame. But there's a lot of facts that show that we will do, in the long term, far better off outside the EU than remaining in it. It is a 10-year project for sure, and we're not even close to getting started yet because of course, we've had two governments that don't want to execute Brexit properly. However, what I will say is that we are in a difficult predicament regarding the international community, regarding the amount of money and capital we have. We desperately need growth and investment, and it's tying ourselves back to the EU going to give us the investment we need.
And the problem is that I think a lot of people who would have voted to leave will be watching this at home thinking, well, these were all political decisions. These were all decisions that were made with the deal that we ended up with. And the problem is that at a time when actually it looked like we were going to be able to go back to the EU and say, right, we want a deal that gives us the access but without the tie-in politically, which I think was probably, trade access when I say is what I mean. But Boris Johnson was not the man to negotiate that. And it was, what's so perplexing, I still look back at this and I'm so perplexed, is that he had a majority of knocking on 90. So actually, if there was any time, he could have said, right, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do X, Y and Z, and I'm going to be as tough as old boots because actually I can get through anything now with my parliament. That was when he caved.
Such a disaster, Chris.
Really was. And I think that I have to give him credit because he managed to upset anyone that voted leave and anyone that voted remain, which was quite the achievement.
I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel very betrayed by all of that. I was really hopeful for Boris Johnson. The Get Brexit Done campaign was so big. I don't know if you remember, Ellie, this as well. It was so captivating, politically speaking. It was an incredible campaign. And then I feel like we've just been completely let down.
Well, I want Brexit to be a success because I want, even when we have governments that are terrible like this one, I actually want them to be a success because I want Britain to be successful. And I just think that actually everything we are discussing at the moment is demonstrative of the fact that we have such disappointing and mediocre political leaders for at least the last decade, possibly longer, that just care more about the public perception and being liked than being right. What I actually want is a leader that will say, you know what, I'm going to say it again. I say it every time I come on here. If Margaret Thatcher was the one that was negotiating this, she wouldn't have cared whether the EU liked her. Remember when the first negotiation she ever did with the EU, she managed to get money back from them. I mean, could you imagine a front page now saying that? Imagine we were saying that the EU were going to be paying Keir Starmer for us to have entry to them.
Well, Chris, there's something else on the agenda today. Number 10 has said that Keir Starmer is also going to be discussing the situation in the Middle East with these European partners today. They're going to be talking about what they could do to contribute to security in the Strait of Hormuz. What options are realistically on the table in terms of us helping to reopen the Strait of Hormuz? Well, we've got the front page of the Times, which we've alluded to already this morning. We've got General Sir Richard Barrons He is the co-author of the Strategic Defence Review, admitting that the military has no money for new weapons until 2030.
Yeah, well, so what's really nice to know about that is that if anyone is planning on invading the United Kingdom, or if there was any sort of war that we might be involved in, or the slight unrest across the world at the moment, if they could schedule that for 2030, that would be really, really useful, because you're absolutely right. I mean, you know, we've got a couple of tugboats, and that's about it when it comes to our navy at the moment. Sir Richard Barrons said that the Ministry of Defence actually has gone backwards since last June, despite all of the tough talk of this government. We have no new money to buy weapons, and the army has, in his words, just about enough money for its conventional crewed platforms like tanks and helicopters and large autonomous vehicles, but that's about it. So it's a pretty woeful state of affairs when you consider what's happening worldwide at the moment, and I don't know what's going to change that, but I think that we'll probably talk about this in the next hour. When you look at our benefits bill at the moment, there is a very strong argument to be diverting money from that to actually getting us some sort of military capability at the moment.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, the front pages, as usual, are splashed with lots of speculation around what's happening. Because, of course, investment into Britain, we talk about growing the economy. This is what we really need, really, to get out of the dire straits we're in, is growing the economy and fixing the pressures that have been on us since the global financial crisis, which is really where all of our problems began under Blair and Brown, should I say. On the front page of The Guardian here, Labour has no magic bullet fix, says Powell. Labour's deputy leader has warned there'll be no magic bullet to solve Labour's problems or major challenges facing the country as MPs grapple with how to navigate lots of other issues internally. This is the issue, right? Successive governments we've had of both party colours have been so focused on their own psychodramas that actually Britain itself as a country is not being governed anymore.
And what's staggering about that, the reason they don't have this bullet is because there is a left-wing cabal which is pretty much the entire backbench of the Labour Party. There is, on paper, an ideological silver bullet that you could have here, and that is to drive investment by lowering taxes, by creating a climate where entrepreneurs want to take the risk to start business and aren't demonised and aren't leaving the UK in their droves, which they are. That's not happening, and the backbenchers won't allow that to happen, and that's the problem.
There you go.
All right, Christo, thank you very much. We are waiting on the Prime Minister to arrive at the EPC summit in Armenia. Once we have those pictures, we will go live to them and bring that to you here on GB News Breakfast, won't we?
We certainly will. Let's have a look at some of the other stories coming into the newsroom, shall we?
And tens of thousands of cancer patients in England could soon benefit from a new 1-minute injection being rolled out across the NHS. The jab is a faster form of immunotherapy drug used to treat more than a dozen cancers, including lung, breast and cervical.
That's some good bit of news for the day, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And moving on, UK food prices could be 50% higher by November compared with levels before the cost of living crisis started in 2021. Now, this is staples like egg, beef and chocolate have already risen sharply, while olive oil prices have more than doubled. On average, household food bills increased by more than £600 over 2022 and 2023.
And a rare poster from Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back could sell for up to £20,000. It's at a major auction marking Star Wars Day. The 1980s UK cinema poster is considered one of the most desirable from the franchise, with untrimmed versions described as exceptionally rare.
Can I just say, if I had 20 grand, I'd buy that.
I know you would.
I'm such a loser.
Goodness sake.
I love
the
Star
thing is, it'll
Wars.
probably go for a lot more than that.
It probably will,
It
Ellie.
hasn't even gone up for auction yet.
It's just such a classic. Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie going.
Especially when it comes to Star Wars memorabilia, I think people will just pay anything, won't they? There's so much money to be made.
So true. The older it gets, the more vintage it is, and that's the thing about these amazing movies. You just can't replicate these kind of movies anymore.
No, they don't make them
gone.
the same, do they?
It's gone. They're just sequels and repeats and remakes of old ones, and they just rubbish.
Well, you'd have a fight on your hands Stephen Dixon would also be
I bet he would.
Yeah, so it'd be the two of you.
Lovely comment here from Stephen. Morning, guys, from the Gold Coast of Australia. Good morning, Stephen. Thank you for joining us all the way down under.
Oh, lovely.
I hope you've got lovely weather over there and having a lovely... I don't know if you've got bank holiday there today. I doubt you will.
Yeah, let us know, Stephen, if you do have a bank holiday.
Yeah.
Well, we are still waiting for the Prime Minister to arrive at the European Political Community Summit in Armenia. So once we have those pictures, we'll cross over to them. In the meantime, Christo, can we talk about the front page of the Daily Telegraph today? It's a story that caught your... The story that caught your eye, didn't it?
The benefits strike back.
The benefits strike back, yes. The welfare is paying more than work for 600,000 households in Britain. Tell us more.
Now, this is the kind of story that if you are waking up, think of our audience at the moment, the kind of people who would be awake at this time. Probably a bank holiday is a figment of imagination for them because they're actually going to work. And this will drive them mad, that more than 600,000 households are receiving now more in benefits than the average worker's salary. And that is new analysis that's never been done before, showing last year 625,618 households were handed over £32,200 in welfare payouts, the average annual salary of a British worker after tax, and this is despite the benefits cap. And this was the Conservative Party that revealed that 16,000 of those households were in receipt of more than, wait for it, £60,000 in welfare payments, almost twice the annual take-home pay. I just want to read that stat again, because I think it will make people start throwing things at your television screen or radio. 16,000 households getting more than £60,000 in welfare payments. So without the tax, I would imagine that's far higher as well, because that's the payments they're actually getting. And that is, of course, calling for calls for an overhaul of the £115 billion benefits budget. This, of course, doesn't include things like pensions, things like that, and reform of the welfare cap to ensure work always pays. I'm so sick of stories like this. I'm so sick of the idea that you set your alarm clock. And these are the kind... Alarm Clock Britain was actually a phrase coined by the Prime Minister. And so they're full of the rhetoric where they say they're helping these people. But these are the people that are waking up in the morning and going to work and hearing stories like this and being infuriated by them.
Yeah, Christo, I totally agree. And I just want to put this out there because I do get a lot of messages from our viewers on different social media platforms. And many of them, a lot of them do suffer with... difficult illnesses and they need benefits. And this is where it really upsets me. My grandmother desperately needed survival benefits. She had multiple sclerosis. She couldn't live without the help of the state and the generosity of the British taxpayer. And that's what it's there for. And this is what winds me up, because I feel now that there is a lot of people freeloading off of the state because of they're getting benefits for anxiety, for ADHD, for example. These are all common things people have lived with and worked with for generations. And I'm not saying we shouldn't help these people. Of course we should. But there's a difference now between having a state full of welfare and a state of people wanting to work, particularly amongst our young.
You're absolutely right. And I was listening to Late Edition, actually, on my way in, and they touched on this story. And it was pointed out there, and it's really right to point this out, that bearing in mind the economic climate and the unemployment going up from this government as well, there will be some people within this that need it because of the fact that unemployment is rising in this economy. So it's really fair and right to acknowledge those genuine cases. But you're absolutely right. The idea that some people will be playing the system is going to be prominent in some of these figures, and you're absolutely right as well. What we need to do as a country is set the scene and have tools for people, and this needs to start in education, that if you are going to be suffering... I look back on my history years ago. I used to be incredibly depressed and have all sorts of issues. I never missed a day of work for it, and I never felt worse for going to work for it either, because you drag yourself into work, you dust yourself off, and actually you feel better for it. And what we're doing is we think we're helping people by saying you've got anxiety, we're going to pay you to stay at home. What we should be doing is helping them get out of the house and no longer being on benefits. It won't be the case for everyone, but for a lot of people, I think think it will be, and that will help them ultimately.
And there's a concern, isn't it, that this is just going to snowball, Christo, generation after generation, because we look at the number of young people out of work now as 16%, I think it's 25% in the capital. This is a generation of people that don't get a job in the first place.
Yeah, and then that drives them then probably having more anxiety about getting a job long term, which means that they could end up on benefits for life, and then if they have children, that can be the same thing. And again, we think we're helping people, and it's not just about those people playing the system. We you know, this ties into all sorts of other stories that we have in this country, where we try and protect younger people on university campuses and in schools from opinions they don't like. Our safetyism culture, where we try and insulate everyone from anything that we deem will harm them. Well, actually, that's how you learn the resilience that you need when you're in your early 20s, that actually give you the tools to then not have a mental health problem. So it's not just on those people. We create in our culture a climate where we insulate people from any kind of controversy, and then they can't cope when things go wrong.
It's like, Christo, some people finish work at 11 o'clock at night and then they're up at 3 in the morning. There you go. Right.
Shall we say how amazing you are?
Oh, I'm just kidding. Look, here we are. This is the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, who's just arrived at the European Political Community Summit there in Armenia. Let's listen in.
Right. Prime Minister, good morning. How is your being here in Armenia going to help people back at home, and specifically you want to get in on this EU loan scheme to Ukraine? Why do you think the EU is going to be more cooperative than they were over SAFE, for example?
Let me deal with both of those issues. In relation to the wider point, obviously we're facing a war on two fronts: the Ukraine war, which is now in its 5th year, and the Iran conflict. Both of those are impacting every single household in the United Kingdom. We can see that already in relation to the impact on energy. So it's vital that we work with international leaders on both fronts. So today I'll be discussing Ukraine and what more we can do to support Ukraine and make sure that we get the lasting peace that we need. And of course on Iran and getting the Strait of Hormuz open. We're working with European and other leaders on that. That will directly affect everybody back at home, because that is impacting all of us, and it's vital that we do that work. In relation to the EU loan that we are discussing participating in, that is very good for Ukraine, because it will give Ukraine capability that it desperately needs in year 5 of this conflict. It's very good for the UK, because it'll be capability that leads to jobs in the United Kingdom, and it's very good for UK-EU relations, which is very important as we go on to the various discussions we're going to have today. Thank you very much indeed.
How concerned should we be by America pulling out, Prime Minister?
So that's the Prime Minister there in Yerevan, the capital of Armenia, for that European Political Community Summit, speaking to Catherine Forster about what he's hoping to achieve this weekend. He was speaking about this new deal for Ukraine, saying that the benefit to Britain would be that it could lead to jobs here in the UK if they were to win those defence contracts, but also help with relations with the EU. Also talking about Iran, and that they'll be working as a European community to get the Strait of Hormuz open. It'll be interesting to see what options are on the table there.
Well, the only way to do it, of course, is military power, but do we have it? All right, look, we'll bring you some more updates on that story as and when we get them. Let's get your weather first with Greg Dewhurst.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast. Rather cloudy today, but lots of places will be dry this bank holiday with some spells of sunshine, but there is the risk of some heavy showers developing, particularly across the south. But this morning, lots of cloud across the UK, some outbreaks of rain and drizzle, murky in places. Best of the sunshine first thing across parts of Scotland and the far south of England, but the sunshine will trigger some heavy showers here as we move through into the afternoon. Some brighter breaks developing elsewhere, but largely dry for most. But some colder air and showers filtering into northern Scotland. Here temperatures 10 to 13 degrees, but in the sunshine 18 or 19 degrees across southern England. Into Monday evening, the heavy showers across the south will ease away. Further showers, though, are expected across much of Scotland, and these will push southwards as we head into the early hours, and winds starting to come from a northerly direction. A few showers reaching parts of Northern Ireland into the evening time, and some sunshine to end the day across northern parts of England, and a mixed picture for the rest of England into Wales. Still the odd rumble of thunder possible as the showers slowly ease. Overnight we'll see some longer clear spells starting to develop, some showers in between and under the clear skies, and light winds across England and Wales. We could see a few mist and fog patches forming. Some longer spells of rain still possible across the northern parts of Scotland. Here temperatures down to 4 or 5 degrees for most of us, generally in high single figures, low double digits for southern England. So it does mean on Tuesday a brighter start, some spells of sunshine in places, but showery rain across Scotland, some colder air continuing to filter southwards as we go through the day. Some showers bubbling up, but plenty of sunny spells. And for everyone, particularly in the north and the west, feeling a little chillier, temperatures more like the low teens to mid-teens, still reaching around 17 or 18 towards southeast.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
All right, still to come. Is everything coming up Spurs? We'll
Yes.
be looking up for you. Paul Coyte's going to be here. But first...
A deadly virus scare at sea as 3 people die and a British passenger fights for his life after a suspected outbreak on a cruise ship. We're going to have all of the details next on GB News Breakfast.
Bowl.
They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Now, a British tourist is being treated in a hospital in South Africa, Johannesburg, following a deadly outbreak of hantavirus on a cruise ship. It's a respiratory illness.
Well, the outbreak was reported on board a cruise ship which was travelling from Argentina to Cape Verde, and 3 people have already died.
GP Dr. Kasim Usmani is joining us now. Thank you, Dr. Kasim, for joining us this morning. Tell us about this virus, first of all, and what we should know.
Hi, good morning. Hantavirus is quite a significant condition, albeit very rare, so it's not one to worry about here in the UK. Its prevalence is very low, but essentially it's a virus that's transmitted through getting into contact with the rodent kind of liquids or kind of feces, if you like. So it's extended exposure in those areas where we inhale the virus particles. Those virus particles can then cause other various symptoms, which often typically start as your flu-like symptoms, so a little bit of lethargy, a little bit of abdominal cramping, diarrhea, muscle aches and pains. And in very rare instances, it can go on to become life-threatening and deadly, which is what we've seen here. So again, it can then manifest in what we call pulmonary conditions, or that which can fill the fluid with lungs, or the other variant, which causes hemorrhagic fever, which can cause very low volumes of output of urine, blood in the urine, swelling, etc. Lots of various other symptoms.
And how does hantavirus spread, and how long would it take for symptoms to emerge? Because obviously the concern is that if it does take a long time to emerge, these people are on a cruise ship. So the question's then about whether it will be allowed to dock or not.
Absolutely. So I think there's different facets to that, really. One is, where did it come from and what strain are we dealing with? There are questions as to where it came from. Either there are rodents on the ship, which seems like the most plausible explanation, and there is obviously, whether it's in cargo or spares of ill ventilation, there's a direct exposure there. These viruses typically tend to, incubate for a couple of weeks. So that's the thing, is that if they're on the cruise ship, it might well be that, prolonged exposure to somebody who's infected may well develop symptoms of the hantavirus. The other explanation is that it's a different strain, and that it's actually somebody who has been infected already, who's got the virus, who's a little bit more active in terms of their viral load, who's then boarded the ship, and then people are getting symptoms thereafter. So, of course, it's a worry. It's going to be for many. I think it's still, I still maintain the fact that it's very rare, and that it doesn't necessarily cause, significant harm. But obviously, we have seen people, unfortunately, in this instance, getting very unwell from it. So it depends. Different strains do different things. So it could be a number of weeks, could be a number of days. We just don't know at this stage.
OK, Dr. Kasim Usmani, thank you so much for joining us this morning to give us an update on that. Joining us in the studio now is, of course, travel expert Simon Calder to tell us more about what's actually happening on this cruise liner. First of all, Simon, tell us about the protocol when things like this happen, because there might be people watching GB News right now on a cruise worried. If this happens to them, what happens to the cruise?
Well, this is, I should stress for the people, and there will be lots of people, you're quite right, Alex, concerned about this, but this is happening on a very small expedition ship. It's got about 150 passengers on board. Typically, a big cruise ship would have 20, maybe even 40 times as many people as that. And hantavirus is simply not something I have encountered in decades of covering the cruise business, but clearly it is extremely alarming. And where we are today is that this ship, which left the Argentinian port of Ushuaia on what's called a repositioning voyage, taking it up basically to the Arctic in time for the summer season in the Northern Hemisphere. It's sailed across, it was a week ago today in St Helena. This is a British overseas territory. You might recall it's got a slightly controversial airport, but that was where 2 of the passengers were taken off, one who very sadly had died on arrival in St Helena, and he's a Dutch passenger. His wife very sadly died when she was apparently in Johannesburg trying to get home to the Netherlands. There is a 3rd victim, sadly, on board the ship, and as we've heard, a 69-year-old British man being treated in Johannesburg. I've, of course, asked the company, Oceanwide Expeditions, why they simply didn't halt the voyage in St Helena. And it may simply be, I haven't heard yet, but it may simply be lack of medical facilities. So where we are this morning, a week on, with very sadly news of these fatalities, is that the ship is at anchor at the port of Praia in Cape Verde, and the authorities will not let the 2 crew members who are on board who are symptomatic, nor indeed the movement of the 3rd deceased person who is on the ship at the moment. So it's a terrible situation for the passengers and the crew, and at the moment they are simply negotiating with the Cape Verde authorities to try to get permission to go ashore.
Oh, just an awful situation. Thank you very much for bringing us the details there, Simon. You'll stay across that for us. Thank you very much. Well, a spokesperson for the UK Foreign Office said that they are closely monitoring this suspected outbreak of hantavirus on board a cruise ship. They say we're closely monitoring reports of a potential hantavirus outbreak on the cruise ship, and we stand ready to support British nationals if needed. We're in touch with the cruise company and local authorities.
All right, let's have a quick look at your travel and traffic update. Don't forget, we're here on digital and radio too.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A75 remains closed in both directions at Annan following a road traffic incident causing significant delays. On the M4 westbound near Swindon, between junction 15 and junction 16, 2 of 3 lanes are currently closed due to road management work, expected to clear by 7 o'clock and 15 minutes this morning. Drivers are advised to allow extra time when travelling through these areas. And on the trains, major engineering work is affecting services on Avanti West Coast at Liverpool Lime Street, as well as cross-country trains between York and Darlington. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
I'm Michelle Dewberry. This is Jubes & Co with you.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie is here. GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device, and as long as you have an internet connection. Tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it?
no,
Because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point.
Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, this Trump made a good start. No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Buckle up, Britain. It's going to be quite a ride. Votes are being cast and counts are gearing up in elections across the country. Everything could change.
From the first result to the inevitable aftermath.
We'll be across it all.
Vote 2026, the people decide. From 11 p.m. Thursday night, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Does Chopper need a coffee?
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
We can allow.
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
let's get all the latest sports news with Paul Coyte. What have you got for us?
I try and be very neutral when it comes to sport.
No, you don't have to be.
Rubbish. Come on.
You
Come
don't
on.
have
Come on, Spurs. Come on, come on, stay it. No. Aston Villa won, Spurs 2. Spurs won a game of football.
It was so good. And it was my Spurs
I'll tell you what,
thing
Des
ever.
Lynam never used to do this.
You don't get this on the BBC, do you?
No. It was good. It was really good. So Spurs...
Classic Spurs.
It was... The thing is, there's a lot of talk about Aston Villa were terrible. And there's a lot of fans and a lot of... Yeah, actually a lot of pundits, they're going, oh, this is terrible because obviously Aston Villa, they're saving themselves for their Europa League semi-final later on this week, which is understandable, which, by the way, Spurs did last year too. 7 players from Aston Villa were missing. Again, there's other teams go, oh, this is disgraceful. How can they do this? This is just make it a mockery of the league. But can I actually add that Spurs have got 9 first-team players that are also out and have been out injured for most of the season. So they actually played really, really well.
Yep.
So Roberto De Zerbi, who's the new manager that's come in, without doubt, has made a difference. This is what Roberto De Zerbi had to say after the game.
I'm happy for this type of performance more than 3 points, because 3 points, okay, we are 1 point more than West Ham, but the most important things tonight, is to play a great game, to believe more and more in ourselves, to believe in our qualities.
So Spurs are going to play Leeds next week. West Ham
in the bag
have to play Arsenal. So it's a worrying time. So probably Spurs now just in the box seat, I would say. And there's 1 point difference between the two of them, 3 games each left. But at least it makes it exciting, don't you think?
Very true, actually. Very true.
Exciting, although a little nerve-wracking. You're a little worried. How are you feeling, Ellie, about it?
I think we're okay now. I think we've got good odds. I think we've got good odds against Leeds.
You were the one that said Spurs were going to be okay, didn't you?
Yes, I've always had hope, unlike you, mister.
I know, but I worry. I just look to you for confidence.
I have to say, the last few weeks I've really enjoyed watching you two cope with this. It's really entertaining.
I'm positive.
As a Palace boy myself, we're always in the middle of the league. And it's just nice to see someone else have to struggle for a change.
Palace lost 3-0 yesterday, but anyway, but at least you're safe. Well, should be anyway. Lot more coming up in an hour.
Lovely. Thanks so much.
All right, should we have a look at this NHS plan to roll out a revolutionary jab in cancer?
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's incredible, isn't it? We're going to go through that in the papers. But first, here's your forecast across Europe.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello there. The risk of heavy showers and thunderstorms across central parts of the Mediterranean the next few days. Some heavy rain across Madeira as well on Tuesday. Sunny spells for the Canary Islands. Southern parts of Spain and Portugal seeing sunny spells, but across the north and into France, northern Italy, the risk of some thunderstorms. But sunny spells in Greece and Turkey as well, and temperatures lifting after a cool few days here and staying pleasant over the next few days.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me. You got me good there.
Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace to
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Martin Daubney, weekdays from 3 p.m.
The annual World Puddle Jumping Championships are at risk this year as there's an unusually dry spring, and that means there could be no puddles to jump over. Well, I'm joined now by the Wicksteed Park director, Kelly Richardson. Kelly, this is major world news. It's of huge concern. How can you have a puddle jumping championships without any puddles?
I know, it's just typical, isn't it? It's what we love about the British weather, is it's so unpredictable. You think April showers and then all of a sudden we get a dry spell. Just typical.
Now, it's a very, very good fun event. My kids, of course, they're a bit older now, but they love jumping over, mainly actually into puddles and stamping. Tell us about, how do you win a World Puddle Jumping Championship? Is it the distance jumped? Is it style? Is it belly flops? How do you win it?
There are some judging criteria: height of jump, distance of splash, how much mud you get stuck all over you. But of course, the most important thing is having fun. So we're really looking for enthusiasm, and the most enthusiastic jumpers and great big splashes, that's how you win.
Anyone who's been a parent, anyone whose kids have watched Peppa Pig will know this is either your best way of spending time in a park or your worst nightmare, particularly if you're doing the laundry afterwards. But without being a killjoy, we can see one of your superstars on screen there just stomping and splashing away. But Kenny, if you haven't got any puddles, what are you going to do? What's the plan?
Well, we're asking people to be creative. So, you know, this is the World Puddle Jumping, so it might normally be wet in April in the United Kingdom, but obviously some countries might be in a dry spell. So we ask people to be creative. So you can jump in a paddling pool, you can jump in the bath, you can jump in any kind of water that you know, it's safe to jump into.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Welcome back to Breakfast 6:50, and we are here with Christopher Biggins and Christo Foodfast this morning, going through the papers on your Bank Holiday Monday. What a treat. Christo, let's start. Oh, no, this is Christopher Biggins, actually. Sorry, Christopher Biggins. Yes. Welfare is paying more than work for 600,000 households in Britain. What is going on?
I can't believe it. It's extraordinary, isn't it?
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, what is happening? I mean, we work and get paid, and nowhere near that amount of money. I mean, you know, it's an outrage that this can go on.
Yeah.
I mean, £60,000 for one house, it's just... It's unspeakable.
Yeah, there's so many people who are struggling, and of course, and I always preface these conversations on benefits with saying, I hear from so many viewers who say, you know, I really need these. I need these benefits, or someone in my family needs benefits to survive because they're ill or they're really struggling. And there's a lot of people out of work as well. However, there are a lot of people abusing this system, and that's why we get angry.
Of course. I mean, you know, there are systems which... I had a lovely girl who used to come in and do the ironing, and her husband was disabled, and he had a new car every 4 years. Brand new car, which he could choose.
Yeah, it's a very generous system.
It is.
Brand new car.
I mean, a brand new car. And the insurance paid everything.
Yeah.
And that was
service
just...
and MOT and everything.
And that was just one thing. I mean, you know, why would we then start to want to work? What's the point?
That's the problem.
This is it, how to incentivise people to work, Christo. There are 16,000 households, as you pointed out at the top of the hour, in receipt of more than £60,000. So that's more than double the average salary.
And that is the point. Not only if you are an entrepreneur that wants to go out and work hard and make something of yourself, are you demonised in this country? You're looked at like there's something wrong with you, that you want to earn money and work hard, so the government makes it difficult that way, but then they also incentivise you this way not to work. Everything seems to be on its head. And also, by the way, I think a lot of these people that have anxiety, I think they genuinely have it, but I think that's because we are so easy to diagnose it, and also we have a culture at the moment where we try and shield anyone, as I said earlier, from anything that's adverse, so therefore they get anxious at the drop of a hat, whereas... talk to Christopher Biggins about being anxious about going on stage or anything else like that. You know, you just have to get over it and work. That's what you do.
I think I'm the oldest person on this panel, and I can remember in the early days...
Don't look at me when you said that.
I just did that to double check quickly there with Christo.
But in the early days, we never had any of this. There was never any of this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was minute if there was any. But I mean, I just find that nowadays it is expected that we look after everybody.
It is.
And pay them huge amounts of money. And I think it's wrong.
But you're actually not looking after them, because by stopping them working, the way you get over the things like anxiety, not for everyone, but for a lot of people, is to actually have a shower, get dressed, get out of the house, and actually that's how you get over it.
Yeah.
Can we have some... I want a bit of positivity today.
Okay.
It's been so miserable lately, but there seems to be some sort of miracle jab for people on cancer, Christo. It's on the front page of the Telegraph today.
It's very exciting.
It is, isn't it?
This is great
really
news.
exciting. A 1-minute jab to treat 14 types of cancers being rolled out in the NHS.
Yeah, and this is an amazing story of a medical breakthrough. Tens of thousands of patients, and this is people with cancer of the breast, cervical cancer, lung cancer, head and neck cancer. They'll be able to receive an immunotherapy in a 1-minute jab.
Incredible.
And this is going to make treatment so much faster. Wes Streeting has said that it will mean more patients treated, more lives saved, and it will cut treatment time by up to 90%. It will get rid of the intravenous infusions, which people have at the moment, and those can take hours. This will take literally a minute.
I'm interested by that to a minute. How long is a normal injection then?
I honestly, I'm not
that's
entirely
true,
sure, but clearly it must be quite a long period of time. I know
Yes, that's what I was wondering.
Must be quite a big jab, must be.
I know we have cancer survivors who watch this show regularly. Please write in and tell us if you've been through this experience and what this might have changed for you if you were undergoing that therapy, because it would be really good to know.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it takes a minute to start working, because they're apparently following the introduction of a 5-minute super jab for the other kinds of cancer. Well, again, 5 minutes. Does that mean that you're being sort of pricked for 5 minutes, or does that mean that it takes that long to start working?
Yes, I wonder. It's confusing, but I mean, it's brilliant.
Yes.
Whatever, however long it takes.
Brilliant news, and we welcome it, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Do we welcome tourists into Amalfi, though, Christopher Biggins? Because apparently Amalfi is being turned into the third world. This
Well,
according
the
to Telegraph.
pictures in the paper today are hysterical, because it is inundated with tourists. But I would have thought that's what Italy wants. Don't they want tourists? They're complaining now that why all these... And what's it going to be like if it's like it now? What's it going to be like in the summer?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love Italy. I mean, and I'm sure we all do, and it's wonderful to go there on holidays and things. You didn't go there for your honeymoon, did you?
No, I didn't. But I did go to a wedding there a couple of summers ago, and it was in Positano, and you couldn't walk the streets. It was packed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Full of people, so I can see the problem if you live there. But then, as you say, you need the tourism.
I know.
They'd soon complain if there were no tourists there.
Certainly would. Well, look, I just wanted to say, Joe, who's a good friend of the channel, actually, who watches one of our viewers, just recently got cleared of his cancer. So congratulations, Joe. All of our love here from GB News. We'll bring you papers again in the next hour. Good to see you both, and we'll be back very shortly with Zia Youssef and some others to talk about what's going on in politics.
Thank you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go, or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A75 remains closed at Annan due to a road incident. On the M5 southbound in Worcestershire, a collision has closed 2 of 4 lanes, with normal conditions expected after 7:15 a.m. In Swindon, the M4 westbound has 2 lanes closed for maintenance until around 7:45 a.m. Surrey's M3 westbound is down to 3 lanes due to a broken down vehicle, but should clear soon. And on the trains, major engineering work continues at Liverpool Lime Street for Avanti West Coast and between York and Darlington on cross-country services. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
We're counting down to a spectacular summer. It's your chance to win £76,543 and 21 pence in totally tax-free cash. A lump sum that you could have in time to splash out with this summer. And because it's tax-free, you get to keep every single penny. For a chance to win, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact that Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Sir Keir Starmer has arrived in Armenia for a key European summit. Are we about to see a Brexit betrayal?
Yes, the Prime Minister is expected to push for closer defence ties with the EU, including joining a multi-billion-pound loan scheme to support Ukraine.
We're facing a war on two fronts, the Ukraine war, which is now in its 5th year, and the Iran conflict. Both of those are impacting every single household.
Elsewhere today, a deadly virus scare at sea as 3 people die and a British passenger fights for his life after a suspected outbreak on a cruise ship.
Hello, good morning from Washington, D.C., where President Trump has launched a fresh military effort to reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
And Hollywood draws a line on AI as the Oscars ban computer-generated performances, and we'll be debating whether artificial intelligence is ruining art at 7:20 this morning.
We're going to be meeting the British father and son who set 3 world records and raised £50,000 for charity. They became the fastest people to cycle around the world.
And get this, a day at the seaside turns to an ordeal as a couple was stranded for hours at the top of the Blackpool Tower after a lift failure. We'll chat to them at 9:15.
And sport this morning was Spurs, even as boys move out of the relegation zone with their best performance of the season against Aston Villa's worst. Manchester United get Champions League football, still haven't given the manager's job to Michael Carrick yet. And with far too many disruptions like mobile phones going off and people running on, Shaun Murphy trails 10-7 to China's Wu Yize in the World Snooker Championship final.
Some of us will see some spells of sunshine this bank holiday Monday, and others some heavy thundery showers. Find out all the weather details coming up soon.
Good morning, it is just gone 7 o'clock. I'm Ellie Costello.
And I'm Alex Armstrong, and this, of course, is GB News Breakfast.
Do you remember Ask Jeeves?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
It's my first ever search engine.
Same.
Yeah.
I remember.
Is it an old thing?
Yeah, it's a search
Is it not
engine.
going anymore?
Paul's still using it.
I'm still doing Ask Jeeves.
It closed.
On my MySpace account, we're doing it all the time. Yeah.
It closed down on the 1st of May.
Wow.
Sorry to tell you. I couldn't believe it when I read it this morning.
I mean, to be fair, I did think it closed down about a decade ago.
Oh, dear.
So,
But you'll remember, if you're an early internet user, I remember very vividly my mum sitting me down telling me how to use the World Wide Web. And she said, what you need to do is type in Ask Jeeves, and you can ask Jeeves anything. I guess it was like the original ChatGPT or something.
Yeah.
And he'd give you the answers, right? So, but it's slipped into history, I'm afraid. There is a farewell message on its homepage, and it says, we are very sad to say that after 25 years of answering the world's questions, Ask.com, which it later became known after Ask Jeeves, has officially closed on May the 1st.
And I always thought Ask Jeeves was just something so British, wasn't it? It was
of course it was.
It was the British answer to Google.
Absolutely. It was the butler with the Ask Jeeves.
That's anyway.
That's sad. That's kind of sad, though, isn't it?
It's sad.
I feel bad for not going on there enough now.
One of the most visited sites in the 1990s and the 2000s, more than 1 million queries a day. So there you go.
Wow.
All right, should we go on to our top story? Because the government has announced it intends to start talks to join the European Union's €90 billion loan for Ukraine. That's £78 billion, as it seeks to bolster support for Kiev and deepen defence ties within the bloc.
Well, the Prime Minister is in Armenia, where he will tell leaders at a European gathering in the capital of Yerevan today that Britain wants to work more closely with them.
And Reform UK Affairs spokesman Zia Youssef is joining us now. Good morning, Zia. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you.
Fantastic stuff. Well, look, I want to ask you about this latest join-up with the EU. It's the Prime Minister resetting, as he calls it, the relationship with the EU, and it's going to cost us potentially £1 billion. What do you make of that, Mr Youssef?
Well, obviously, since the British public voted famously for Brexit, the political establishment, including Keir Starmer, have done a great deal to try to undermine that vote. MPs have basically decided that, the public were wrong, and they were going to look to find any excuse to try and get Britain back into the European Union by the front door or by the back door. And it looks increasingly like Keir Starmer now, given he's always in a place where he's got nothing to lose. It's difficult, really, for him to go much further down in the polls. He is the most unpopular Prime Minister in history, which is a pretty astonishing thing for someone who has really only been Prime Minister for the blink of an eye, and obviously comes after horrendously unpopular previous Tory Prime Ministers. So that's some going. And I think, the £1 billion cost pales into insignificance. I think it's going to be much, much higher than that in raw absolute terms. But there's also, of course, the opportunity cost of all of the incredible things that Britain should have been doing. And don't forget, it was the Tories, of course, that completely squandered the enormous opportunity that Brexit presented Britain and the British people. But that opportunity, the good news is that opportunity can still be realised. And if you want it to be realised, you would need a reform government led by Nigel Farage.
Zia, you must be very alarmed by the front page of The Times today. This is a warning from General Sir Richard Barrons, a former military chief. He is warning that Britain's armed forces can only think about preparing for war, as a lack of funding has left no money for brand new weapons until 2030. What's your response to those words from Sir Richard Barrons, and how do we fix this?
Well, obviously, it is shocking, and it's obviously really concerning for anyone listening to this programme, watching this programme. But I'll be completely honest, I've been in politics now for coming up to 2 years, and I've spoken to a lot of people currently serving in our armed forces and veterans who have told me that time and time again. They've said, pretty much all aspects of our military, other than, small, relatively niche areas, are currently incapable of projecting power when it matters. And that's not merely speculation or just what some people say. We can actually see that in terms of what happened during this Iran war, when, of course, the Prime Minister ordered a destroyer out to the theatre of battle, and it could not get there on any sensible time frame. We were talking about weeks, and when it eventually did turn up, it was there for a very short period of time before needing to return to maintenance. And that is not in any way a criticism of our incredible troops and every man and woman who serves in our military. It is a withering criticism of 14 years of Tory rule, when they took defence spending as a percentage of GDP down from 2.7 down to 2.3%, utterly hollowed out our armed forces. And obviously Labour have only continued that. I mean, it's been farcical hearing, on the one hand, the Prime Minister talk about increasing, basically following reform. It was reform who first talked about taking defence spending to 3 and then 3.5% of GDP. This was before even the last general election, talking about that. And then Rachel Reeves coming out and saying there will actually be cuts to the defence budget in absolute terms. The whole thing makes absolutely no sense. In terms of how do we fix it, it's simple. We have to stop wasting British taxpayer money. You know, we're always told there's no money for things that British public really want, whether it's mass deportations, whether it's a strong and formidable defence. But there's infinite money for illegal migrants, infinite amount of money. £15 billion has been spent over the last 18 months on foreign nationals, just on universal credit alone. That's just one line item on of our welfare bill, and that's a significant percentage of our annual defence budget right there. And then we need to get serious about growing our economy. We need to stop wasting money on foreign aid and focus on hard power. We are now in the era of hard power, and Britain needs to focus. We need to rebuild, rearm, and compete on the world stage, and that's what reform will do.
Well, Zia, I just want to ask you about hard power. We're talking about Ukraine today. The Prime Minister's weighing up whether to join the EU on this bailout loan for Ukraine. Do you think we need to... Would you back this potential investment into Ukraine to fight against the war in Russia?
Well, Reform backs Ukraine. We back the Ukrainian people's battle against Vladimir Putin, and it is in the British interest to do so. Clearly, Vladimir Putin is a marauding dictator. But if you actually look at what's been happening within Ukraine, you know, we have obviously given them a lot of our drone capacity. Our drone, we haven't really talked about this part, but this is also really scary. Our drone inventory has largely been completely diminished as a result of that. And we simply haven't been building, we haven't been manufacturing and built the manufacturing base to allow us to build those drones. So yes, we need to continue to support Ukraine, and Reform supports that. But we also need to think about how we support our homeland here at home. And, you know, again, I want to make a really important point here, because, you know, we can talk about drones, we can talk about Navy vessels, we can talk about missiles and all sorts of things. But the reality is that we're still, you know, closing in on 200,000 people, most of them undocumented men, turning up on our beaches uninvited, essentially an invasion of this country over the last 8 years. No doubt some of those are IRGC, i.e. Iranian state-backed terrorists coming here, plotting terrorist attacks. MI5 have already confirmed they have foiled 20 attacks on our soil by Iranian IRGC fighters. And yet not only has Starmer not prescribed the IRGC, just like the Tories, he's happy to continue this open borders policy, which is extremely dangerous to the people of Britain.
OK, Zia Youssef, so many more questions to ask you, but I'm afraid we're out of time with you this morning. Thank you very much for your time on GB News Breakfast.
Thank you. Yes, we're now joined by broadcaster and commentator Christo Fufas in the studio. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about defence a lot today, aren't we? We're talking about defence a lot. It's all over the papers. We're talking particularly about the Prime Minister's trip to Armenia at the moment, where he's saying he's going to support Ukraine and give... It looks seemingly like we're going to support Ukraine, at least by giving them more this loan. We'll join up with the EU on that. But also there's concerns, isn't there, that Britain itself cannot defend itself right now, and that we've got a massive shortfall in our military budget.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what the Times is actually reporting on the front page this morning, that we have no money for new weapons until 2030. These are the words of some of the generals that we've got. We've got General Sir Richard Barrons, who's the co-author of the Strategic Defence Review. He says that Britain's gone backwards when it comes to its military, that the army has just about enough money for conventional crewed platforms, but not expendable largely autonomous systems such as kamikaze drones or AI-enabled assets. General Sir Rowley Walker, the Chief of General Staff, refers to a concept known as 20-40-40, in which 20% of the Army's future capability will come from traditional platforms. So that means that we need to actually be investing in other platforms instead, but we can't afford to fund this other 80% proportion. So that's all pretty grim reading. Now, the Army, of course, has disputed this suggestion, saying that there's not enough money to modernise. But, of course, when you've got generals saying the opposite, that's going to worry people greatly, especially in these times, and worry people greatly that we seem to have identified the problem, but actually we're a few years off the problem being solved when a lot of people will be watching this morning saying, well, hang on, should we not be increasing the budget now? But then we get to the question, where does the money come from?
I mean, one benefit that we heard from the Prime Minister there, speaking
I'm
to
amazed
Catherine
you're
Forster...
mentioning benefits this morning.
Well, we'll get on to that, Christo, because that is shocking, isn't it, that story this morning? But look, one benefit for Britain is that if we are part of this loan to Ukraine, we do get first dibs on these defence contracts, which could be lucrative for the UK, and there could be jobs.
Yeah, and again, I think a lot of people will say if it means that we get jobs or better trade with the EU, trade alone, I think a lot of people will be in favour on this. But it's interesting, we were talking earlier about the way that the Times was covering this. The Telegraph have spoken about how the PM wants to speak directly to Emmanuel Macron about trying to have these closer British-EU ties and speak about our deepening economic relationship with the EU, but also they're saying that Britain, from the Prime Minister's Substack, that Britain should voluntarily align with swathes of EU law. Critics have branded this a de facto return to the single market. So again, the devil will be in the detail. Will it be that we are increasing trade and trying to get more money for Britain via weapons contracts, or will it be that we're actually doing that but also then aligning with EU laws, which a lot of people will say, well, look, we voted for the precise opposite for that. It will be in the King's speech next week whether ministers will get these powers that are expected to import large areas of European regulation, and is that setting the scene for more alignment?
Christo Futhas, thank you so much. We'll see you again very shortly. But on to a slightly more of a disturbing story today, because a British tourist is being treated in hospital in South Africa following a deadly outbreak of hantavirus. That's a respiratory illness on a cruise ship.
Well, the outbreak was reported on board this cruise ship, which was travelling from Argentina to Cape Verde. And very sadly, 3 people have already died.
Well, joining us now is Simon Calder, the travel expert in the studio. Simon, thanks for joining us again this morning. This is a worrying story for many people. Cruises are very popular around the world. Should people be worried?
In general, I would say absolutely not. I've been covering cruises for 3 decades now, and this is the first time I have covered the hantavirus. Just to explain, it's relatively rare. This is spread by the droppings and the urine of rats, and it's spread through the air, and generally it's actually not particularly transmissible, certainly not compared with most of the viruses that are spread, sadly, all too frequently on bigger cruise ships. This is a small 170 passenger expedition ship. Typically, cruise ships are 20 times that size. It is, as you say, on a voyage from Ushuaia in Argentina, actually travelling all the way up to the Arctic, but it called in a week ago at the British Overseas Territory of St Helena, where, very sadly, 2 people, one of whom died on arrival, a Dutch passenger, was taken off. His wife also was taken off. She fell ill and sadly died, I understand, actually at Johannesburg Airport when she was trying to fly back. On top of that, there is a 3rd victim on board that we know about who is not deceased but not able to be taken off the ship because the authorities in Cape Verde are not allowing that. And there is, as you mentioned, a 69-year-old British man who is in hospital in Johannesburg being treated for this very serious virus, which causes all kinds of problems, in particular respiratory difficulties, which clearly for older travellers can be a problem, and also in some variations renal failure of kidneys.
So what happens from here, Simon? So the ship isn't allowed to dock at the moment, the way things stand?
There's lots of negotiations going on between the company Oceanwide Expeditions, which is based in the Netherlands, the Dutch government and the authorities in Cape Verde. And there are, I'm sorry to say, Ellie, kind of lots of echoes of COVID. You will recall in the early stages of that terrible episode, cruise ships were actually kept out in the ocean because they were not allowed to dock anywhere. That's what's happening here, because it is not nearly so contagious as COVID, and clearly they were allowed to drop off people in St Helena. I hope that they will soon be allowed in, where I presume the voyage will end everybody will be sent home, and of course everybody who needs medical treatment will get it.
Simon, thank you for at least quelling my fears about this. I know it's not a nice story, but it's good to know that most people will be safe. Simon Calder, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, indeed. A spokesperson for the Foreign Office said they're closely monitoring the suspected outbreak of hantavirus aboard a cruise ship. They said, we are closely monitoring reports of potential hantavirus outbreak on the cruise ship Hondius and stand ready to support British nationals if needed. We're in touch with the cruise company and local authorities.
Now, at 17 minutes past 7, let's take a look at some other stories coming into the newsroom this morning.
Tens of thousands of cancer patients in England could soon benefit from a new 1-minute injection being rolled out across the NHS. The jab is a faster form of immunotherapy drug used to treat more than a dozen cancers, including lung, breast and cervical.
UK food prices could be 50% higher by November compared with levels before the cost of living crisis started in 2021. Staples like eggs, beef and chocolate have already risen sharply, while olive oil prices have more than doubled. On average, household food bills increased by more than £600 over 2022 and 2023.
And I love this one. A rare poster from Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back could sell up to £20,000 at a major auction marking Star Wars Day. The 1980 UK cinema poster is considered one of the most desirable from the franchise, with untrimmed versions described as exceptionally rare.
That food inflation story won't surprise anybody, will it?
No, it really
especially
won't.
if you're buying a bottle of oil. Cooking oil. It's extortionate, isn't it?
The cost of food is astronomical these days.
Yeah.
It really is. And I don't think it's going to get any better with the war in Iran either.
No, it's not. Up 50%, according to that headline. Let us know if that's something you've noticed in your basket in the supermarket. gbnews.com/you'll say.
Should we have a quick look at your weather with Greg?
That should be happier news, shouldn't it?
Yeah,
the sun
let's
should
hope so.
be shining today on your Bank Holiday Monday. Greg's got all the details.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast. Rather cloudy today, but lots of places will be dry this bank holiday with some spells of sunshine, but there is the risk of some heavy showers developing, particularly across the south. But this morning, lots of cloud across the UK, some outbreaks of rain and drizzle, murky in places. Best of the sunshine first thing across parts of Scotland and the far south of England, but the sunshine will trigger some heavy showers here as we move through into the afternoon. Some brighter breaks developing elsewhere, but largely dry for most. But some colder air and showers filtering into northern Scotland. Here temperatures 10 to 13 degrees, but in the sunshine 18 or 19 degrees across southern England. Into Monday evening, the heavy showers across the south will ease away. Further showers, though, are expected across much of Scotland, and these will push southwards as we head into the early hours, and winds starting to come from a northerly direction. A few showers reaching parts of Northern Ireland into the evening time, and some sunshine to end the day across northern parts of England, and a mixed picture for the rest of England into Wales. Still the odd rumble of thunder possible as the showers slowly ease. Overnight we'll see some longer clear spells starting to develop, some showers in between and under the clear skies, and light winds across England and Wales. We could see a few mist and fog patches forming. Some longer spells of rain still possible across the northern parts of Scotland. Here temperatures down to 4 or 5 degrees. For most of us, generally in high single figures, low double digits for southern England. So it does mean on Tuesday a brighter start, some spells of sunshine in places, but showery rain across Scotland, some colder air continuing to filter southwards as we go through the day. Some showers bubbling up, but plenty of sunny spells. And for everyone, particularly in the north and the west, feeling a little chillier. Temperatures more like the low teens to mid-teens, still reaching around 17 or 18 towards southeast.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
All right, still to come. Is everything coming up? Spurs, Paul Coyce, and Ellie are very excited about this, aren't you?
And it is. It's the Spurs comeback. We've been waiting.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
They've saved the day. But first, before any of that, is AI killing the arts? We're going to be debating that next.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Brave.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What we're going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Needs to stop. You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Buckle up, Britain. It's going to be quite a ride. Votes are being cast and counts are gearing up in elections across the country. Everything could change. From the first result to the inevitable aftermath. We'll be across it all. Vote 2026, the people decide. From 11 p.m. Thursday night, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Does Chopper need a coffee?
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Right, the Oscars have made a decision to ban performances and scripts, indeed, produced by artificial intelligence to protect the film industry.
Yes, Hollywood has drawn the line, but should the rest of the world? This morning we're asking, is AI ruining art?
Well, joining us now is journalist and broadcaster Susan Holder and social commentator Ryan Mark Parsons. Good morning, you two. Ryan, Mark, we've spoken about AI quite a lot on this show together, haven't we? Look, do you think it's ruining the Oscars? Do you think we should draw a line on AI when it comes to the arts?
No, I don't think so at all. I think it's a great tool to enhance the arts, in fact. I think it also democratizes arts in lots of ways, where before it might be incredibly difficult to crack into the industry. It's often quite elitist, and you need to have a lot of money at your disposal to enter the arts, to enter the film industry. Money for a studio, for example, to create something, to create a film. And I think it actually allows a lot of people that don't have access to those funds to actually create something that could be in a cinema perhaps one day. A lot of young people I know, aspiring filmmakers, are using AI tools to actually create incredible pieces of art in terms of film. And I think we should be more open to that, instead of denigrating people that are trying to find ways and use resources that perhaps aren't as expensive to actually make a crack at what is an incredibly tough industry to get into.
Susan, does it make the industry more accessible?
It might do, depending on how you use it. I think the key word that Ryan used there was tool. I think if AI is used as a tool by creative people who have talent and who want to express themselves in various ways, then yes, I can understand we can't stand in the way of progress. We used to make music by just singing publicly, and then we were able to record it and put it on vinyl and put it on CD and put it on various methods. Of course, we keep inventing things. People now go back to vinyl because they prefer it. I mean, my vested interest, I'm an author, as you say. I write fiction. I'm married to a musician who's a songwriter. My son is a recording engineer and a record producer. My daughter-in-law is a stand-up comedian. Now, there's a thing you'll find hard to replace with AI. AI very rarely has a sense of humour. There's no wit when you go to it. My worry is, I mean, people I know, however, who are artists, graphic designers and illustrators are already fighting for survival against people pressing a button. And the problem I think we have as well is, yes, AI can be used as a tool, but what is it producing? Is it producing something of a quality that people who work and strive and who have talent and who may train, and yes, it is a difficult industry to get into in many ways, but that's where you get the cream rising to the top of talent in the end. Whereas things that AI can produce will be, oh, well, that'll do. Yes, you can get it. We can all produce a song. The question is, should we? It doesn't mean that it's any good, and will it last? It's also very derivative. Anything AI produces is obviously only going on what people have done previously and reimagining it. It doesn't have an imagination of its own.
OK, right, Mark, is it cheating, essentially? Is it all these skills that people spend decades and decades and decades developing, and then some young kid in their bedroom can go and recreate it for practically free? Is it cheating?
No, I wouldn't say it's cheating, and I think every generation have always had this fear when it comes to advancement in technology. You know, actors and in acting, cameras came about, and then in photography there was Photoshop, and music there was auto-tune, and I feel like there's always worry and skepticism about new advances in technology, and I think it's always cast upon in this very negative light. However, I think with AI, I think there's lots of ways in which arts can be enhanced. And if we're looking at film, I think there are a plethora of ways that AI can be integrated into filmmaking that can actually elevate the quality of filmmaking in ways where we can generate imagery or whatever it might be within the film. And I think we also shouldn't assume the audience is stupid, right? You've got AI actresses like Tilly Norwood, and I think there's still going to be that incessant craving when people go to the cinema and they want to watch a film. They want that real human emotion. I think that's never going to go away, and that's never, ever going to be replaced by AI. But I think there's certainly ways AI can be introduced, and I think the film industry does need to catch up. And I think you can see the snobbery in the television industry as well, when social media was rising and there was a lot of anti-social media integration. And now you see channels putting a lot of their budget into social media. And I think that you can see that across lots of different parts of arts and media and entertainment. And I think this is just another form of evolution that the film industry needs to catch up with.
OK, I'm afraid we're out of time. You two, Susan Holder and Ryan Mark Parsons, thank you so much for joining us to debate that on GB News Breakfast. Very interesting debate.
Yeah, would you be happy with an AI version of yourself?
Doing my job? Yeah. Absolutely not. Wouldn't want me to be out of a job. Yeah. But this is the concern. I think it's great until it starts to get people out of a job.
That's true.
And that's the way it's going, isn't it? Well, what do you think?
There's some good... We obviously do have AI news reporting here at GB News, the first in the country. We have Tatiana doing sometimes the sport roundup. Yeah. Yeah.
And traffic and travel, don't we?
Traffic and travel, sometimes also AI. So, we are utilising it, but just in places where perhaps we are, don't need to have a full person doing something. But maybe that is the future. It's a little bit of both.
Yeah, very good idea. Let us know what you think. gbnews.com/you'll-say.
All right, it's just gone 7:30. You're watching GB News Breakfast with Alex and Ellie. Let's get our daily reflection, shall we?
The GB News Daily Reflection.
Hello, my name is Johnny Dade, and I'm a vicar in the Church of England. When I was a kid, I had a friend called Alex who was in my class at school. Now, Alex seemed like a regular guy, but he became strangely coy whenever you asked him where he lived. A few months into term, we found out why when we finally got an invitation to his home. His home, it turned out, was a mansion, more rooms than we'd ever seen before. As the day of Jesus' death draws near, he gathered his disciples for a lesson. In my Father's mansion, he said, are many rooms. They must have appeared confused. Jesus continued, I am going to prepare a place for you, and I will come back and take you to be with me. These words from the Bible are often read at funeral services. You can see why. It turns out that there is infinite space in God's house, rooms for everyone. And more than that, Jesus is personally preparing a place for us. That's what he's gone ahead to do. But right then, one of Jesus' followers, Thomas, chips in with the question I'd be asking. Sure, Jesus, sounds good, but how can we know the way? And Jesus' response is some of the most famous words in history. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus, it turns out, is the door through which we enter, and all are invited.
That's your daily reflection on your bank holiday Monday. Very fitting message.
It is a day to reflect indeed if you're having a rest for a change on a Monday morning. There you go. Coming up though, someone who hasn't had a rest, Paul Coit. What have you got for us?
I'll tell you, it's outrageous when a phone rings in a theatre, but it's unforgivable when a phone rings in a theatre in the middle of the World Snooker Championship final. More on that coming up next.
Thank you, Britain, for the thousands of you who are becoming friends of GB News each and every week.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the A898 southbound at Erskine Bridge, a broken down vehicle is causing lane restrictions. In Worcestershire, the M5 southbound between Junction 5 and Junction 6 has 2 of 4 lanes closed due to a road traffic collision. Normal traffic conditions are expected by 8 this morning. In Swindon, the M4 westbound between Junction 15 and Junction 16 has 2 of 3 lanes shut for maintenance, with flow resuming around 8:30 this morning. And on the trains, there is major engineering work by Avanti West Coast at Liverpool Lime Street, and Cross Country is working between York and Darlington. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Welcome back. It's sports time with a very happy and relieved Paul Coyte.
It's early days, though. It's not over yet.
No, I
but
don't
Spurs
like
are
this.
out of the relegation
That
zone.
explains
Just be
it.
happy.
I know. Oh, right. OK, I'm sorry.
Look, we've waited an awful long time for a win.
We have.
We've got the win, so let's just enjoy.
So Dawn Neeson's not in. Cressa Gabusi's not in today, I thought, being a Monday. 2 West Ham fans.
Well, it's bank holiday, isn't it?
Interesting that they're not in today.
Avoiding
See,
you, Paul.
Dawn was... See, West Ham fans aren't happy, obviously, but the thing is that there's some that are complaining, and other football fans complaining that Aston Villa did not try. And it was Aston Villa. They've got a big game in Europe during the week when they play Nottingham Forest, who are already 1-0 down in the Europa League semi-final. And they say, oh, they didn't try, they made too many changes. It's like, so? Spurs had 8 changes. It had to make 8 changes. And West Ham, you played Crystal Palace the other day in the same situation, but it doesn't really make any difference. Spurs were very, very good. So I'm hearing a lot of nonsense talk, and De Zerbi, the manager, he's done a very good job so far. So the relegation fight is not over yet. Spurs 1 point above West Ham with 3 games to go. Manchester United 3, Liverpool 2. So Man United have qualified for the Champions League now. They were 2 up, went 2-2, then they won 3-2. So Kobbie Mainoo scored the winner. He's another player. He was going to be sold before under Ruben Amorim, but since we've had Michael Carrick come in, he's absolutely turned things around. And he still hasn't been given the permanent job yet.
Well, he needs
10 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. What more can you do?
He deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely
Just a bit of fear.
deserves it.
Is it a fear that you don't want to go too early to appoint your manager?
Yeah,
because so
absolutely.
many disasters happen?
I'm sure that's what it is, because
exactly what it is.
it's once bitten and all that sort of stuff, because what's happened before with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he's got to get the job. So who are they going to get that's any better? Bournemouth beat Crystal Palace 3-0. Sorry about that, Alex.
Yeah, it's all right.
Sorry about
It's
that.
OK.
Now,
Cheers,
the snooker, the final of the World Championship of the Crucible is going on at the moment. So it's over 2 days, bank holiday, the Sunday, and then finishes today. 22-year-old Wu Yiza, who's from China, he is quite some player, but he's playing a friend of ours, Sean Murphy, who's been on the show a couple of times before. 10-7 it is at the moment, but the thing is, there were so many disruptions during the game, which is what I mentioned just now. Now, there was some OnlyFans model runs on shouting something about... It was about TV licences. It was all too weird. So anyway, she runs on and then gets moved away. How do these people actually get tickets for the final? I don't know how they get them. So anyway, then you get there she is. I mean, it's like, I don't even want to give her the publicity, but there you go, just running on there. I don't know what she was going to do, but she was hustled out. And then you had phones going off. Now, if you went to see... It's one thing going to the theatre, but if you went to see the World Snooker Final, either there's a situation where... I mean, how would you forget to turn your phone? I'd be petrified. I'd keep checking every 2 minutes and going, to make sure. Or you often get, I suppose, maybe someone's mate is going to phone their friend and then try and make the phone ring. But anyway, one spectator was thrown out after that. Then their phone alarm went off in the middle of the match, in the 15th frame. So anyway, it's 1st to 17, so that's where we stand at the moment. So hopefully... Listen, do me a favour. If you're going to the snooker, just turn your phone off. Do yourself a favour. It's ridiculous, because you'll get thrown off.
Totally agree with you. In fact, I saw the great Peter Blexley. He's a good friend of the channel. Comes on my show very often. And he was doing his brilliant performance, and this woman's mobile phone was going off for a good 5 minutes.
Oh, you just want to take it off them.
And he actually had to stop the show at one point. That's how bad it was.
He probably arrested them, didn't he? He's had them put down for 3 years.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did, because, but he's a real gentleman.
Did she not know?
Well, she couldn't find it. It was everywhere. I felt sorry for Peter, I really did, but he handled it like a total pro.
Well, he would, wouldn't he?
Did he ever kicked out?
Did.
Good man.
Briefly.
Yeah,
exactly. All right.
Paul, thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Now, very excited about this. A brand new Great British giveaway. Have you seen this?
I have.
Oh, this is my first time seeing it. It's your
yes.
chance to have a spectacular summer with £76,543 and 21 pence, precisely, tax-free cash in your bank. Very nice.
That would be an incredible summer, wouldn't it? Yeah. Here is all the details.
We're counting down to a spectacular summer. It's your chance to win £76,543 and 21 pence in totally tax-free cash. A lump sum that you could have in time to splash out with this summer. Imagine all the things you could do with that cash. Give the garden a glow up, max out on a new motor, or just make sure the coming year is your year. And because it's tax-free, you get to keep every single penny. For a chance to win £76,543 and 21 pence in tax-free cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Right, Joe, good friend of the show here,
Yeah,
Joe Holden, says, May the 4th be with you, Alex. May the 4th be with all of you Star Wars fans and you too, Joe, at home celebrating today.
And did you
I love it.
tell them about that poster?
There's this 20 grand poster from The Empire Strikes Back. It is a vintage classic. No one get their hands on it. If I had 20 grand spare, that's where my money would be going.
Wow. That's
well, I don't, so I'm going to have to enter the Great British Giveaway.
You might have to. Well, you can't enter,
I know, I wish I could.
But you can. So best of luck with that one. And may the 4th be with you.
Thank you, Ellie.
Now, still to come, a former military chief has warned that the armed forces won't be able to afford new weapons until 2030. We're going to get into that next.
Yeah, in the meantime, should we get your forecast for our top European destinations?
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello there. The risk of heavy showers and thunderstorms across central parts of the Mediterranean the next few days. Some heavy rain across Madeira as well on Tuesday. Sunny spells for the Canary Islands. Southern parts of Spain and Portugal seeing sunny spells, but across the north and into France, northern Italy, the risk of some thunderstorms. But sunny spells in Greece and Turkey as well. And temperatures are lifting after a cool few days here and staying pleasant over the next few days.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
I'm delighted to be joined by the Chelsea pensioner, the Korean War veteran and the winner of Britain's Got Talent, Colin Thackeray. Colin, welcome to the show. Oh, look at you, mate. You look like an absolute legend. You're in your full Chelsea pensioner gear, of course you are. You're going to sing for us now on St Patrick's Day. First of all, please, sir, a fine rendition for King, for Country, A Vow to Thee.
Right. Ready to go now?
Yes, sir.
I vow to thee, my country, all earthly things above, entire and whole and perfect, the service of my love, the love that asks no questions, the love that stands the test, that lays upon the altar the dearest and the best, the love that never falters, the love that pays the price, the love that makes undaunted the final sacrifice.
You've brought a tear to my eye and no doubt to many, many people listening at home. 96 years old, can you believe it? Colin Thackeray, a very, very beautiful St George's Day. Michelle Dewberry, you joined me in the studio. What a rendition that was. Magnificent.
Come on, I'm going to give you a hug. What a man. Let me tell you something. They do not make them like that anymore. They don't, do they?
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Welcome back to Breakfast at 7:47. Should we have a look at some newspaper front pages on this Monday morning? The Telegraph reveals this morning that welfare beats work for 600,000 households in Britain.
And the Times are saying Britain reportedly ordered to pay £1 billion a year to the EU after the so-called reset.
The Guardian's top story covers the toothless oversight of AI facial recognition systems.
And lastly, in the Daily Mail, Labour's plans to double parking fine fees.
Oh dear. Right, well, let's go through the paper, shall we, with Christopher Biggins and Jennifer Powers this morning. Morning, you two.
Well, we've got to start with the £1 billion.
Oh, we do, absolutely. This reset, Biggins, what's going on?
Well, it's a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we've been talking about, you know, people getting £60,000 off the government to live, but £1 billion. I mean, is that right? Do you think? I don't
Yes,
know.
it's annual payments to Europe for the first time since Brexit. This would be so. It's expected to be around £1 billion a year. The condition being further access to the EU's single market.
Well, I'm a bit confused by this because we left because we were paying out all this money. And now we're going to go back in and pay even more money.
This is the thing, Jennifer, because obviously it wasn't that long ago. The government seems to think Brexit was 100 years ago. We've only really had Brexit for the last sort of the last 10 years, and we've not really had a chance for it to work. And the Labour government already like, well, no, just scrap all of that vote, go back in.
Well, we can probably all recall who was the chief architect of the Rejoin and the second referendum campaign. Who could it be? It was, I think, our current Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. So absolutely no surprise that one of the things that he feels most strongly about is getting closer to the EU. And it's a pay-to-play deal. So basically, if we want less friction in trade with some of our key industries, I think they're singling out chemicals, pharmaceuticals and cars, then we'll have to pay Brussels. And Switzerland did a similar deal last year. They have they pay for access to certain programs. And they did a deal for access to the single market that was 375 million euros a year. And that was based on GDP. And our economy is about 4 times as large. So by that basis, you're looking at about 1.5 billion. But of course, who knows what the final amount may be? Because if they have all the leverage, if we want access, then they can really put the price tag wherever they want. And it seems as though this government would pay it. So we'll have to see. I mean, it's one of the issues that will be discussed today in Armenia with Keir Starmer at the summit, part of this reset plan. And I don't imagine in this time of cost of living and the public finances being under such strain that the public will really want the UK to be prioritising giving money to the European Union. But that seems to be where we are.
Well, do other countries give, I wonder?
Well, being a member is a lot more expensive. We were just talking about Switzerland, of course, it's based on GDP. But the problem I've got, Christopher, is that we've given away so much. We don't really have anything to negotiate with. Our fisheries were one of the biggest leverage points, and we've already given a deal. I think it was a 10-year deal that would outlive this government by a matter of years. Obviously, quite a long, by 6 years. And I just feel like we're going in a position of weakness.
Of course. And, it's 1.5 billion or whatever at the moment. How much will it increase by?
Yeah, it may well do.
That is the problem.
It's also not necessary. I mean, in time, I think, over time, as that leverage changes, if the UK would prioritise growth and we became the fastest growing economy, then the EU would come to us. And so the real way to reset things is to be a success. And that's just not something the government is willing to do. It's not willing to make the changes to make Britain a success. And so you have them wanting to pay so that there could be mutual recognition on professional qualifications, for instance. Well, that's not something that requires paying money. That just requires an agreement between both sides to recognise the professional qualifications of the other side. And it's just not something that the EU is willing to do because they're still, you know, pretty annoyed with us for leaving. So the best way is to just be successful.
Well, the Prime Minister is also going to begin negotiations on potentially joining this £78 billion loan to Ukraine. Now, this comes as we're being told that our military has no money for new weapons until 2030 begins. That is one alarming headline, isn't it, in the Times today?
It is so alarming, it's not true. I mean, for a start, it's alarming that we're in a war situation anyway in this world today. I mean, I want to just go off, if I may, this subject just for a second. We are in a situation where we could be called up to go to war. Luckily, I'm 78 years old. I won't get called up. Now, do you think that people will say no when they're called up, young men, young women?
Well, by all the polls suggest they would. Yeah.
Well, because I can see that the only reason that they would, because it's appalling when you think what happened in World War I and World War II, where every day they were sent off. My mother was a RAF, and she said they would go out and have a drink at night, and the young men and women would go out and fly in the morning and never come back. And they were just fodder.
Terrifying.
For wars. And this is what's happening now in other countries. But I don't think we want to have it here.
No, I think you're certainly right. You're certainly right. And
this is a situation which says, yes, we are right.
This is the third intervention by the co-authors of the Strategic Defence Review. So we had Lord Robertson, who came out with those very memorable comments about corrosive complacency, and now we have this latest intervention.
Indeed, yes, Jennifer. Yeah, lots to discuss. We'll see you again both very, very shortly. Thank you for joining us.
Do stay with us. Very shortly, we're going to be speaking to the Shadow Chancellor, Sir Mel Stride, about Sir Keir Starmer possibly cozying up to the EU. We're going to get the latest on that next, up to your weather.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast. Rather cloudy today, but lots of places will be dry this bank holiday with some spells of sunshine, but there is the risk of some heavy showers developing, particularly across the south. But this morning, lots of cloud across the UK, some outbreaks of rain and drizzle, murky in places. Best of the sunshine first thing across parts of Scotland and the far south of England, but the sunshine will trigger some heavy showers here as we move through into the afternoon. Some brighter breaks developing elsewhere, but largely dry for most. But some colder air and showers filtering into northern Scotland. Here temperatures 10 to 13 degrees, but in the sunshine 18 or 19 degrees across southern England. Into Monday evening, the heavy showers across the south will ease away. Further showers, though, are expected across much of Scotland, and these will push southwards as we head into the early hours, and winds starting to come from a northerly direction. A few showers reaching parts of Northern Ireland into the evening time, and some sunshine to end the day across northern parts of England, and a mixed picture for the rest of England into Wales. Still the odd rumble of thunder possible as the showers slowly ease. Overnight we'll see some longer clear spells starting to develop, some showers in between, and under the clear skies and light winds across England and Wales we could see a few mist and fog patches forming. Some longer spells of rain still possible across the northern parts of Scotland. Here temperatures down to 4 or 5 degrees for most of us, generally in high single figures, low double digits for southern England. So it does mean on Tuesday a brighter start, some spells of sunshine in places, but showery rain across Scotland, some colder air continuing to filter southwards as we go through the day. Some showers bubbling up, but plenty of sunny spells. And for everyone, particularly in the north and the west, feeling a little chillier, temperatures more like the low teens to mid-teens, still reaching around 17 or 18 towards southeast.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go, or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A75 is closed at Annan due to an incident. On the A1M northbound between junctions 42 and 43, one lane is closed after a collision, with normal conditions expected by 10:20. On the M4 westbound near Swindon between junction 15 and 16, two lanes are shut for maintenance until 9:20. On the M5 southbound between junctions 5 and 6, two lanes are closed following a crash expected to clear after 8:43. And on the trains, engineering work causes delays at Liverpool Lime Street and between York and Darlington. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
There's a totally tax-free £76,543.21 in cash to be won. Cash to spend on anything you like. That's like having over £6,000 extra to spend each month for a whole year. You could spend it on a bucket list holiday, treats for all of the family, or just save it for a rainy day. For a chance to win, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it?
No,
Because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray, are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it. Don't get us on the BBC. Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines. The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it? From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos. I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak. Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
So Keir Starmer has arrived in Armenia for a key European summit. Are we about to see a Brexit betrayal?
Yes, the Prime Minister is expected to push for closer defence ties with the EU, including a multi-billion-pound loan scheme to support Ukraine.
We're facing a war on two fronts, the Ukraine war, which is now in its 5th year, and the Iran conflict. Both of those are impacting every single household.
A deadly virus scare at sea as 3 people die and a British passenger fights for their life after a suspected outbreak on a cruise ship.
Hello, good morning from Washington, D.C., where President Trump has launched a fresh military effort to reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
Elsewhere today, we're going to be meeting the British father and son who have set 3 world records and raised £50,000 for charity after becoming the fastest pair to cycle around the world.
And get this, a day at the seaside turned into an ordeal as the couple was stranded for hours at the top of the Blackpool Tower after a lift failure. We're going to chat to them at 9:15.
Is it like I'll have another piece of rock? What do you want to eat? Spurs move out of the relegation zone with their best performance of the season against Aston Villa's worst today. Manchester United get Champions League football, but still haven't given the manager's job to Michael Carrick yet. And with too many disruptions, Shaun Murphy trails 10-7 to China's Wu Yize in the World Snooker Final.
Some of us will see some spells of sunshine this bank holiday Monday, and others some heavy thundery showers. Find out all the weather details coming up soon.
Good morning. It's just gone 8 o'clock. I'm Ellie Costello.
And I'm Alex Armstrong, and this is GB News Breakfast.
And may the 4th be with you.
Oh,
You too.
I always get it wrong. 4th of May, be with you. They go, what?
No.
Have you
May the 4th. And do you know what it is? It's May the 4th be with you. That's May the 4th be with you. See the play
I did kind of get that, Alex.
I know, not everyone
kind
does.
of get
Just
that.
saying, just saying.
I think everybody's all right on that there. Thank you. Have you seen Star Wars, though? Have you seen it, honestly?
What? What?
Come on. No.
Right, it's bank holiday. I'm sending you the links to all of the movies.
Oh, no. All right, thanks.
I interviewed...
I'll take your word for it.
I interviewed Mark Hamill, who's Luke Skywalker, and my claim to fame is that I interviewed him and I had never seen Star Wars.
Really?
And I had to bluff
How'd it
my
go?
way. I thought I was the only person in the world that had never seen it. And they said, well, you've got to interview him, and obviously you've seen it. And I went, yeah. I've never seen it. So I'm like...
How did that go? What did you ask him?
I really don't know. It was like throwing things like Chewbacca in and R2-D2.
That's good.
And Anthony Daniels, right? It was. I know all the stuff about it. I don't think I've ever actually...
Have you watched it now?
I saw it like once, and you know what?
It wasn't for you.
It left me cold.
Yeah, really?
Is that wrong? Because everybody says how amazing it is.
I mean, look, it's a sci-fi. Not everyone's.
You are excited. You've done a lot, haven't you? I can see by the look in your eyes.
Do you know what it was? I used to go round to my Uncle David's flat when I was younger, and he'd put Star Wars on. The original Star Wars movie. So it's got a childhood thing for me. And then there was Pizza Express. Domino's or someone used to have these little toys. I used to collect them when I used to go.
Pizza Hut, it would have been.
Pizza Hut. It was Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
Yes, you remember it. That's all coming back to you now. And this is the thing. So there's all these little toys when I was a kid. I remember when I was poorly, I had my tonsils out. My mum bought me a little Star Wars
Was
toy.
the film any good, though, Alex?
The film's brilliant. I mean, absolutely.
It's all very well with all the, you know...
The new ones are terrible. The new ones are terrible, but the old ones are gold.
Right. The old ones that are the classics.
So if you've got to start from the beginning, because there's so many, can you actually... Is it worth doing the whole lot, or do you just stick with that and The Empire Strikes Back? Come ask him for a friend, Ellie.
Start with the first three. Right. New Hope. Start there, and then you go into the prequels after. And after the new three, don't bother.
All right. We'll let you know how we get along.
Yeah.
In the meantime, can you believe the story about the couple stuck at the top of Blackpool Tower?
Oh my goodness.
What would you do if the lift broke down and you were stuck at the top of Blackpool Tower? What would you do?
I'd taken the view.
Yeah,
then there's going to be a point where... How long are we talking here? Is it hours? And hours and hours?
Yes, a lot.
It can't be... I mean...
It was, yeah.
If you're stuck in a lift, that's pretty bad. But at least you're up, you can walk around.
4 hours.
There's worse things, though, isn't there?
With their 6-year-old grandson.
Here's some footage on screen if you're watching of the couple we're talking to later. I mean, that kid looks exceptionally well behaved, bless him.
But children are quite good at entertaining themselves, aren't they?
Yeah.
If they've got a ball or something.
To a limit. They don't look happy. I don't blame them.
Turn around. Look out the window. What a view you've got there.
Well, it doesn't look like a very nice day either. That's the problem. It looks a bit cloudy.
Yeah, well,
so
that's Mick and Kath. We're going to be speaking to them later. And there they were. They were stuck at the top of Blackpool Tower.
Yeah.
I can't think of worse things. I'm sorry. I can't think of worse things.
Yeah. No. I mean, there's certainly worse things in the world, but it's not ideal, is it?
Fair.
It's not ideal, is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, should we have a look at our top story at 8:05? Because the government has announced that it intends to start talks to join the European Union's €90 billion or £78 billion loan for Ukraine. It's seeking to bolster support for Kyiv and deepen defence ties with the bloc.
Yes, the Prime Minister is now in Armenia, where he will tell leaders at the European gathering in the capital in Yerevan that Britain wants to work more closely with them.
Well, let's speak now to GB News chief political correspondent Catherine Forster, who joins us live from Armenia. And we heard you talking to the Prime Minister earlier on, Catherine. What did he say to you that he was looking to achieve in Armenia?
Yes, well, good morning from Armenia. It's a first for GB News to be here. It's a first for the Prime Minister as well, and actually it's only the second time that any British PM has been here. Maggie Thatcher was back in 1990 was the last time, and we are where Europe and Asia meet, and we're also just 160 miles north of the border with Iran. So I asked the Prime Minister earlier what he was doing here that was going to help people back home. Let's have a look first at what he had to say in response.
We're facing a war on two fronts, the Ukraine war, which is now in its 5th year, and the Iran conflict. Both of those are impacting every single household in the United Kingdom. We can see that already in relation to the impact on energy. So it's vital that we work with international leaders on both fronts. So today I'll be discussing Ukraine and what more we can do to support Ukraine and make sure that we get the lasting peace that we need. And of course on Iran and getting the Strait of Hormuz open. We're working with European and other leaders on that. That will directly affect everybody back at home because that is impacting all of us, and it's vital that we do that work. In relation to the EU loan that we are discussing participating in, that is very good for Ukraine because it will give Ukraine capability that it desperately needs in year 5 of this conflict. It's very good for the UK because it'll be capability that leads to jobs in the United Kingdom, and it's very good for UK-EU relations.
So the Prime Minister there saying that if we get access to this EU loan to Ukraine, that's going to bring British jobs back home. Of course, we know that the EU always play hardball. We wanted to participate in the SAFE scheme, which could have been vastly beneficial to our defence companies. That didn't happen because the cost, the amount of money that the EU wanted for that was just much, much too high. But the Prime Minister has been meeting a whole host of European leaders, including President Zelensky, Mark Rutte, the NATO Secretary General. Just at the moment, he's having a trilateral meeting with President Macron of France and Mark Rutte. We'll be reporting here throughout the day.
OK, Catherine Forster there for us in Armenia. Thank you very much.
And joining us now is Shadow Chancellor, Conservative MP Mel Stride. Mel Stride, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Let's quickly talk to you about this trip to Armenia. The Prime Minister got two big parts to talk about here. One is this cozying up to the EU so-called EU reset that's going to cost the UK potentially up to and over £1 billion. Is that a good thing for Britain?
Well, I think to get back into a position, having left the European Union, where we're spending that kind of money, about £1 billion, could be more, into EU coffers, is not a good situation. I think the other point that you're probably going to come on to, Alex, around the defence situation in Ukraine, I think I'd be far more positive about that. I think provided the numbers stack up, our support for Ukraine when we were in government was absolutely unwavering, and in fact we invested about £3 billion a year supporting Ukraine, and the Prime Minister was right to say that could have the knock-on consequences of more jobs back home as well as being really important in terms of our security and global security more generally.
There is a concern, though, isn't there, Sir Mel, when we're talking about being part of this loan for Ukraine, part of this £78 billion loan for Ukraine. If you juxtapose that with the front page of the Times this morning, which has General Sir Richard Barrons, a former military chief, warning that Britain's armed forces has no money for new weapons until 2030. How can we be giving so much money to Ukraine when we can't even fund our own armed forces, it would seem?
Well, I think they're both about the same thing, Ellie. They're both about strengthening our security in the world. And you can do that, of course, via supporting Ukraine. It's really important that Ukraine does prevail against Russia. But at the same time, of course, you're quite right. We need to make sure that we have a strong armed forces ourselves. And that's why we've been saying we should be spending more on defence, 3% by the end of this Parliament. But look, with all of these things, the only way you can do this is if you have a rapidly growing, strong, robust economy, and that's not where we've ended up under this government. And what we should be doing is getting on top of public spending, particularly the welfare bill, getting people off benefits and into work, and then using those savings both to cut taxes on businesses to get them growing, but equally to invest in areas like defence, which are so important. And we have a very clear plan for doing that. We've set out lots of details on that, including, for example, returning to the two-child benefit cap that this government has scrapped, and explaining how that can be translated directly into more funding for our military and more soldiers to make sure that we keep our country safe.
Yeah, so there's the accusations thrown at your party, Mel Stride, is that you hollowed out the military, this is why opposition party saying this, hollowed out the military while you were in power. There's also a disturbing story that's been circulating in the press the last 24 hours that Britain doesn't have any defence against interballistic missiles. Is that something that you accept whilst you were in government, that you hollowed out the military and therefore have left Britain open to attack?
Well, look, we went through a particular phase from about the late 80s when the Berlin Wall came down, and we all in the West actually benefited from what people called the peace dividend, and spending generally on defence eased back on where it had been before. In the final sort of stretch of our time in office, actually, we were investing more in defence, so we had very clear plans for this. But what the government needs to do in terms of your point about intercontinental ballistic missiles, clearly the challenges in defence terms that we're facing are changing incredibly rapidly, and we're seeing that in the Ukraine war, not least because of fairly low-cost munitions like drones, the use of AI and so on. So we have to adapt our the kind of resources that we have in the defence area, and that's why we need this defence investment plan that the government promised last September. We still do not have that to know even what we're looking at in terms of what we need to invest in. But as I say, you need a strong economy to be able to defend our country, and I'm afraid that is not what we've got under this government at the moment.
You're here today to talk to us or accuse the Labour government of business rates betrayal. What's going on here? Because Labour had pledged to replace the business rate system, hadn't they?
Yeah, they said that they were going to make it fairer, and they said one of the ways they would make it fairer is to apply business rate surcharge, extra business rates, to those online businesses operating from big warehouses, and therefore reduce the pressure on smaller high street businesses. Well, we've looked into the numbers now from the official data, and quite the opposite has happened. In fact, only about 11% of those businesses suffering the surcharge are these online warehouses. The rest are retailers and hotels and zoos and clubs and sports stadiums and so on and so forth. And I'm afraid, you know, the level of business rates under this government is really going up through the roof, and so many of these high streets are now really suffering from this, plus the national insurance increases, plus the changes in the employment legislation that's making it riskier and more expensive to employ people. You add those things up and it's no wonder that they're struggling.
So Mel Stride, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, let's go back to GB News Chief Political Correspondent Catherine Forster. Very good morning to you again, Catherine. What do you make of what Sir Mel there had to say? Very interesting that he was actually supportive of Sir Keir Starmer in terms of this loan to Ukraine, saying that support had to be steadfast.
Yes, that struck me as well, Ellie, and I think the case is that he can see that if we can get in on that, then Ukraine will potentially buy a lot of weapons from us, and our defence industry is very, very strong, so that could bring British jobs back home. So I think that is why, yes, he's supportive of it, though that report in the Times this morning, a totally different issue, the idea that potentially we'll be asked to spend £1 billion if we want that EU reset that we keep hearing about ostensibly by the summer. I was really struck too by what Sir Mel Stride said on defence, and I think it is very striking to me that Richard Barron, as you said, has come out, one of the co-authors of the Strategic Defence Review, and saying that for all the talk of the Prime Minister says that he's going to go further and faster, and I think we saw it in yesterday's press release that he'd said this at Munich and he's going to act on it. For all the talk of the biggest increase in defence spending since the end of the Cold War, the reality is that we are not increasing our defence spending at anything like the rate of many other countries in Europe. Germany, for example, by 2030 are going to be spending 3.5% of GDP on defence. That's going to be more than Britain and France put together, and we have only said that we will get there by 2035. We haven't even said how or when we're going to get to 3%. So I think the rhetoric from the Prime Minister is not matched by the reality, and it's something that I hear from people in the defence field over and over again, the frustration that the money at the moment is not there at a time that the world is clearly increasingly dangerous.
That's GB News Chief Political Correspondent Catherine Forster joining us there from Armenia. Thank you very much, Catherine. We'll look forward to seeing you again soon and keeping us updated on that story.
Now, at 16 minutes past 8, let's take a look at some other stories coming to the newsroom this morning.
A good news story here. Tens of thousands of cancer patients in England could soon benefit from a new 1-minute injection being rolled out across the NHS. This is a cancer jab. It's faster, a form of immunotherapy drug that's being used to treat more than a dozen cancers, including lung, breast and cervical cancer.
Iran's armed forces are warning the US Navy against entering the Strait of Hormuz. It's after President Trump announced that it would start an effort to free ships stranded in the vital shipping lane. The US says 15,000 military personnel, more than 100 aircraft, warships and drones will be involved.
And UK food prices could be 50% higher by November compared with levels before the cost of living crisis started in 2021. This is things like eggs, beef and chocolate, which have all already risen sharply, while olive oil prices have more than doubled. On average, household food bills increased by more than £600 over 2022 and 2023.
Now let's get a check on the weather on your Bank Holiday Monday with Greg.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast. Rather cloudy today, but lots of places will be dry this bank holiday with some spells of sunshine, but there is the risk of some heavy showers developing, particularly across the south. But this morning, lots of cloud across the UK, some outbreaks of rain and drizzle, murky in places. Best of the sunshine first thing across parts of Scotland and the far south of England, but the sunshine will trigger some heavy showers here as we move through into the afternoon. Some brighter breaks developing elsewhere, but largely dry for most. But some colder air and showers filtering into northern Scotland. Here temperatures 10 to 13 degrees, but in the sunshine 18 or 19 degrees across southern England. Into Monday evening, the heavy showers across the south will ease away. Further showers, though, are expected across much of Scotland, and these will push southwards as we head into the early hours, and winds starting to come from a northerly direction. A few showers reaching parts of Northern Ireland into the evening time, and some sunshine to end the day across northern parts of England, and a mixed picture for the rest of England into Wales. Still the odd rumble of thunder possible as the showers slowly ease. Overnight we'll see some longer clear spells starting to develop, some showers in between and under the clear skies and light winds across England and Wales. We could see a few mist and fog patches forming. Some longer spells of rain still possible across the northern parts of Scotland. Here temperatures down to 4 or 5 degrees. For most of us, generally in high single figures, low double digits for southern England. So it does mean on Tuesday a brighter start, some spells of sunshine in places, but showery rain across Scotland, some colder air continuing to filter southwards as we go through the day. Some showers bubbling up, but plenty of sunny spells. And for everyone, particularly in the north and the west, feeling a little chillier. Temperatures more like the low teens to mid-teens, still reaching around 17 or 18 towards southeast.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
All right, still to come. Is everything coming up Spurs?
Yes, it is, finally.
Oh, I don't know. Well, look, Paul Coyte's going to be here to tell us more, but first...
A father and son have become the fastest pair to cycle across the world. They've smashed 3 world records. We're going to meet them next.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain,
with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it?
no,
Because the failure is
you're
the failure is
deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes and Co weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Needs to stop. You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Welcome back to Breakfast. It's 23 minutes past 8. Now we're joined now by a father and son duo who have taken on an extraordinary 18,000-mile challenge.
Wow, yes, George and Joshua have cycled through 31 countries across 4 continents to raise money for UNICEF.
Well, they set off over a year ago and the pair have taken on some of the toughest terrain on Earth across countries including Turkey, China, Vietnam and Argentina.
Well, we're thrilled to be joined by George and Josh Kohler this morning. George, Josh, thanks for joining us. Well, I mean, I have to say, first question we have to you is, what was the toughest day you had on this trip and how have you found the response?
Good morning. I think for us the toughest day was going over the pass in Kyrgyzstan. 2 days of uphill climbing, pushing the bikes through dirt roads in searing heat, getting to the top and looking forward to a nice downhill at 3,500 metres, only to find it was even worse going downhill. So that kind of hit morale a little bit, made even worse by Joshua getting attacked by bees at the end of the road. So it was all a bit emotional, but we got through it, got our heads down and then reset and off we went the next day.
Where do you stay? I mean, have you got like a tent in the backpack or on the bike or something, and then, or do you plan every hotel you go to? Is everything very carefully planned out?
It's a complete mixture of where we stay. We carry a tent, so we've spent a lot of time camping out, wild camping. We've stayed in campsites, hotels, with people have hosted, just welcomed us into their homes with open arms. We've stayed in a whole complete range of accommodation over the last 400 days.
And Josh, it must have been such an adventure to have with your dad. We've just had a view in from Nanny Lulu on gbnews.com/you'll say. She said, did you guys argue much?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We argued pretty much every day, but when you're spending this much time with one other person, especially when it's your dad and with kind of the only other person you see, and it's a pretty intense environment anyway. But we always made sure we went to bed on good terms. We'd always hug, make up. And yeah, we got through it together, and our bonds now is as strong as it
will ever be, and I'm very, very grateful for this time I've been able to spend with Dad.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's such a wonderful story. But going back to the beginning of all of this, what inspired you to do such a... I think it's crazy what you two have done. It's bonkers. It's bonkers, and I'm sure everyone else watching will probably feel the same way. However, massive amounts of admiration for you both. What inspired you to do it in the first place?
So a few years ago when I was still at school, an explorer came to do a talk to us, and he had cycled across the US and he'd written a book. I went home, bought the book, read the book, and thought, well, that sounds like a great idea. Why don't we give that a go? So I said the idea to Dad, and we decided to do it together. The first problem was we didn't have bikes. We weren't cyclists. So we bought the bikes, and the next year we cycled across the USA from New York to San Francisco. And then we finished that and went our separate ways for a couple of years. And then 2 years ago, we were thinking, twiddling our thumbs and thinking, what can we do next? What's bigger and more impressive than cycling across the US? So originally we decided to fly to Singapore and cycle home. But then we thought if we just add on a few more continents, we could just go all the way around the world. So that's where the idea came from. And on March the 29th, 2025, we left our front door here in Norfolk to begin this incredible journey, which we finished 2 days ago.
So, Josh, what are the world records? Because we can see you there with the certificates there from the Guinness Book of Records. There's 3 there. What world records have you set?
So it was the fastest father and son to cycle around the world, the furthest distance...
Hold on, aren't you the only father and son to actually have cycled around the world?
Absolutely.
Or are there others?
So we're laying down the gauntlet for others to follow.
Yeah, and then the furthest distance cycled by a father and a son, and the most countries visited by a father and son on bicycles.
So how many countries was it in all?
Well, it was 31, but the record is 30 because they don't count the UK, as that's where we started.
Got you, makes sense. David here on our members page here, you'll say, has asked, how many punctures did you get? And I guess to expand that a little bit further, did you have moments where you just had to go and find a bike shop somewhere, and how did that go?
Total punctures, I think it was 7.
Wow.
Mainly in Brazil and China. The rest of the time we're absolutely fine.
Wow.
And there were times where we did need some support from various bike shops. We had a few catastrophic failures and just had to deal with it. Limp home at times, including getting a failure in the middle of the desert when one of the pedal brackets seized up. Managed to limp to a little village in the middle of nowhere that happened to have a railway line next to it, and the train happened to be going through at midnight. And
Wow.
one of the villagers kindly provided some shelter and food for us, and then asked his children, his young children, to escort us to the train station to help us get the bikes on to get back to the main city to get the bike repaired.
Oh, wow. So many incredible stories over the past year. What was it like 2 days ago, getting across that finishing line? How did that feel? There must have been so much emotion. And how are your legs feeling?
Oh, it was completely surreal, very, very emotional, having all of our friends and family who'd flown in from all over the world to be there to welcome us home. It was an absolutely incredible day. Yeah, so grateful for everyone coming and welcoming us back home. Legs are feeling great. It's weird not waking up this morning and getting on the bike, and I think it's going to take a couple of weeks to get used to that. But yeah, we're both feeling great, and yeah, just overwhelmed by the support we've had over the last year.
And how can people donate to you? This is all for UNICEF, isn't it? How can they get the money over to you and this really important cause?
There's a Just Giving page, which if you just Googled father and son cycling around the world, that should point you to it. It's on the bios on Instagram and other social media channels that we've got. Easy to just click on that and help those that have far bigger challenges than we could ever imagine. This was a challenge of our own choice. The children around the world don't have those challenges. So the provision of clean water, sanitation, medication, which UNICEF do amazing work for. Please help us to help others and recognise, the efforts we've gone through to try and help those that particular charity.
Brilliant stuff, gents. Really, really admirable cause as well. Thank you both so much for joining us this morning. I know you probably just want to sleep in a bed, in a nice bed, so thanks for getting up early to chat to us today. We really appreciate it, and all of the love coming from our GB News members as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, brilliant stuff, you two. What an adventure. Thank you so much.
Brilliant, love it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, there you have it. I mean, that to me, I think that is incredible.
Yes,
It
yeah.
really,
I've
really
got
is.
one major problem here is that I just bought an exercise bike, and I was really, seriously, I was excited that I did 20 minutes yesterday, and I'm watching this and just
Well,
thinking...
they've put you to shame.
It really is quite...
They've thrown down the gauntlet.
Exactly, that's it.
This could
Me
be
and
you.
Joe.
You and Joe.
Yeah. Could well happen.
That would be a great series.
Start with trying to get down to the end of the road, and then we'll see how we go.
Currently, you're on a stationary static bike in your house.
Well,
But we can move on from there.
That's it.
Just got to give
Getting
it a
the
pair of
training in.
wheels,
There
an
we
extra
go.
wheel, and you'll be
Acorns
off.
and oak trees and all that sort of stuff.
Get them off the stabilisers.
I think it'd be a great TV show.
I think that would be a good TV show, actually, Paul. All right, look, it's time for a Great British
show. That's a sad story.
All right, shall we get a Great British giveaway in here? £76,543 and 21 pence in tax-free cash in your bank, Ellie.
Yes, imagine the kind of summer you could have with that kind of cash. Here are all of the details that you need.
We're counting down to a spectacular summer. It's your chance to win £76,543 and 21 pence in totally tax-free cash. A lump sum that you could have in time to splash out with this summer. Imagine all the things you could do with that cash. Give the garden a glow up, max out on a new motor, or just make sure the coming year is your year. And because it's tax-free, you get to keep every single penny for a chance to win £76,543 and 21 pence in tax-free cash. Text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Look, if you're travelling to work, I don't think you'll be going to work or school. Many of you won't be. But if you are trying to get out... Yeah, because it's bank holiday. But if you are trying to get out on the roads, it's an important update here because it's a traffic and travel update.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A75 is currently closed in both directions at Eamonn due to a road traffic incident, causing significant delays. On the M1 southbound in Rotherham, a broken-down vehicle between junction 31 and junction 30 has led to the closure of one of 4 lanes. Normal traffic conditions are expected to return between 8:30 and 8:45 this morning. And on the trains, major engineering work is ongoing at Liverpool Lime Street on Avanti West Coast services, with further disruption between York and Darlington on cross-country routes. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Right, still to come. Paul is here with all your sport. Paul.
Shall I tell you what's going on?
Yeah.
Premier League relegation battle takes another twist as Spurs win at Villa Park to put West Ham back into the bottom 3. I've got more of that on the way.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
It's so
there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Buckle up, Britain. It's going to be quite a ride. Votes are being cast and counts are gearing up in elections across the country. Everything could change. From the first result to the inevitable aftermath. We'll be across it all. Vote 2026, the people decide. From 11 p.m. Thursday night, only on GB News, Britain's news channel. Does Chopper need a coffee? You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's Tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong Tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it?
no,
'Cause the failure is-
you're
the failure is-
deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Right, he's here. It's Paul Coit. What have you got for us, Paul?
Have you seen the royal cricketer?
No.
Have you? Well, Princess Charlotte on her 11th birthday, this was posted on the royal Instagram.
Oh.
Her playing beach cricket. And I've got to tell you, the bowling action is extremely good. Have a look at this. So Princess Charlotte, now look at this, playing beach cricket. Now, I've got to tell you...
Wow.
As a cricket fan, great ball, lovely straight arm. See, often people will bend the arm. You've got to keep the arm straight. That right arm comes over. Eyes on the prize, straight down. Look at her looking forward there. The follow-through is perfect as well. Very good bowling action.
Yeah. I'm not surprised, though, because both parents are so sporty.
That's true.
The kids are going to be really into their sport.
But do you think she's quite as competitive as her mum? Because obviously, Princess of Wales is very competitive.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Well, I should imagine so. I should imagine so.
Well, I'm impressed.
Very good. Very impressed by
Very
that.
good.
Spurs beat Aston Villa yesterday. Spurs were very good, I need to say, yesterday, and it's probably the best Spurs have played, and they need to be doing this because in the relegation zone, they've now moved out of there because West Ham lost 3-0 at Brentford on Saturday, which means Spurs have now gone 1 point above West Ham. I mean, there's a lot of nonsense talk because the fact that, OK, Aston Villa were not good, and well, in fact, they were bad. Spurs were great.
Spurs were good, though.
Aston Villa were bad. Yeah. But there's a lot of fans going, oh, it's not right. It's a disgrace because they're resting players for the big game that they're playing in the Europa League against Nottingham Forest on Wednesday. So what? Every team does this. Every team will rest players when they've got a big game ahead. Spurs did it last year, and also we should mention that Tottenham Hotspur. Now, I know I'm sounding like a biased fan. I know I may sound that way. But thank you, Alex. Thank you so much. But Spurs have got 8 first-team players out as well. So it's just that they played very well and they deserved the win. So from deserved to deserby, and let's hear from the Spurs manager. This is what he said after the game.
I'm happy for this type of performance more than 3 points, because 3 points, okay, we are 1 point more than West Ham, but the most important thing tonight, is to play a great game, to believe more and more in ourselves, to believe in our qualities.
I'm beginning to believe.
I think you should be believing. We are out of the relegation zone. You know that now.
That's right.
3 games to go. We're on a winning streak. It's looking good.
The coping between you two is unbelievable.
We're out of the woods.
It's unbelievable.
Because we haven't got Akabusi, we haven't got Dawn here either today. We're allowed to do this.
Yeah. I think we're absolutely fine. Look, we're facing Leeds. We'll win that, and then we're on the
That's
home
what
and
I
dry.
like. That's what I want to hear.
Yep.
Snooker, final of the World Championship. Wu Yiza from China, only 22, leads Sean Murphy, 2005 champion, who was only 3 months older than Wu Yiza is now when he won the World Championship. Lots of disruptions, ringing phones, someone comes running on. Honestly, what is going on? Snooker is supposed to be
Turning into the darts.
It is. It really is.
It is a
but
bit,
also, the other thing, I want to mention the tennis. Yannick Sinner has become the first man to win 5 consecutive titles now. Beat Alexander Zverev. I think we've got a little bit of that we can see. He won the Madrid Open. There we are. It's on clay. Very messy clay. Yeah. Very messy business.
It is, yeah.
But he wasn't there long enough to get too dirty. Only 58 minutes, 6-1, 6-2, and continues to play just brilliant tennis. Now, Djokovic won 4 in a row in 2013. The French Open is the next major next month. But if he wins, Sinner, he will be only the 10th player to win all 4 of the Grand Slams. Can you name any of the players that have also won it?
Roger Federer.
Good. 1.
Bjorn Borg?
No. Try again. Good guess.
Djokovic.
Yes. 2. Ellie?
Old school. Fred Perry.
Fred Perry, very old.
You
I
can't...
didn't know you were a fan of tennis of the 1930s.
Well, I love Fred Perry.
Yes. Oh, you love the weather.
As in, I like the clothes.
Fred Perry is good.
Other brands are available.
I'll give you the list. So Djokovic, Nadal, Federer, Emerson, Rod Laver.
Nadal.
Yes.
Nadal. Yeah.
Nadal, Agassi, Don Budge.
He's
Before my
getting
throat goes, Fred Perry, Colt Alcaraz.
Poor Tim Edmund. That's all I say.
Arsenal. Excuse me.
Thank you, Paul.
See
you tomorrow.
All right, look, still to come. Schools in Sutton are adopting a creative approach to help students cope with ADHD.
We're going to find out more in the papers next. But first, here's your forecast across Europe.
Dinner under the stars tonight?
That reminds me of our travel insurance.
You mean all clear skies?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
Hello there. The risk of heavy showers and thunderstorms across central parts of the Mediterranean the next few days. Some heavy rain across Madeira as well on Tuesday. Sunny spells for the Canary Islands. Southern parts of Spain and Portugal seeing sunny spells, but across the north and into France, northern Italy, the risk of some thunderstorms. But sunny spells in Greece and Turkey as well. And temperatures lifting after a cool few days here and staying pleasant over the next few days.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
As we honour the heroic Australian and New Zealand combatants of bygone wars, the Royal British Legion Scotland welcomed the family of one standout serviceman to Edinburgh. Unmatched in bravery and gilded in valour, New Zealander Clive Franklin Collett was a vanguard of our skies. The test pilot turned flight commander earned the Military Cross and Bar after just 2 months of aerial combat for leading his formation with great skill and taking out 5 enemy aircraft in 1 week with great dash and determination. He notably performed the first parachute jump of any British or Commonwealth soldier from an aircraft in 1916. The Royal British Legion Scotland first celebrated Anzac Day in 1927. Events organiser Brian Ward explains the most recent chapter in the Scottish Legion's century of celebration.
We first started doing Anzac Day services
at the Scottish National War Memorial in 1927. So it's one of our longest running events. More recently, we have started doing the events in Comley Bank Cemetery. We did a broadcast with the Australian Broadcasting Corporation to ask for the families of the deceased that's inside Comley Bank Cemetery to tune into. And of the 16, I believe we got 8 families.
Mandy says her pride goes beyond her grandfather's medals and commendations.
I guess it's been a deep pride in who he was, not the fact that about medals or things like that, but the courage, the bravery, the attempt at a parachute jump, the first person to do a parachute jump for Britain in front of King George V and Queen Mary, and I thought that's pretty special.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Welcome back. We're going through the papers today with Christopher Biggins and Jennifer Powers. Morning, you two.
Good morning.
Jennifer, let's look at something totally different this morning, shall we? But I know that you'll be very interested in this story. This is in The Guardian today. What are schools using in Sutton to help children who have got ADHD?
Yeah, it's a fascinating story in The Guardian on page 10 about all 15 secondary schools in the London Borough of Sutton who have gone into partnership with the local NHS Mental Health Trust to trial VR headsets for emotional dysregulation for children that are feeling anxious or not behaving, in the classroom. They feel, traumatized in some way. It's in partnership with the tech firm called Phase Space, so it's a pilot program. Now, I'm fascinated by this because on the one hand, I think, well, if we can help children feel better about themselves, if we can help them be just less disruptive in the classroom, that helps everyone, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
However, I do worry about the precedent it sets because surely we should be figuring out what's causing children to be anxious or dysregulated in the first place, rather than spending lots of money, potentially, on technology to deal with the symptoms of that anxiety.
It seems like just putting a headset on them and just taking them out of their environment is an easier solution for them.
Yeah, and it's talking about putting them in a room and they put on the VR headset and it's incredibly quiet and they're kind of transfixed by all the different lights and it makes them feel calm afterwards. And I think, well, yeah, I mean, if I went and even just sat alone in a cupboard for 7 minutes, I would feel more calm when I came out, regardless of the many £1,000 VR headset. So I'm a little bit concerned that this is treating symptoms rather than cause. And then secondly, it's like, okay, this is a pilot by this organization, this company, Phase Space. But how much do these VR headsets cost? And they're going to be, next thing we know, they're going to be going into schools across the country trying to sell them.
Yes.
And that is very precious budget, school's budget, potentially going to this firm. So I'm concerned by that.
Yeah, Christopher, because do you know what it reminds me of immediately? It reminds me of mobile phones in front of babies and children who, just to stop them from screaming and crying, are being put
It's a very good analogy.
Because this is just a screen on your face. That's what a VR headset is, right?
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
It's ridiculous. Didn't happen in my day.
Or they strap the old TV to your face back on those things.
I just cannot understand how, first of all, how they think of these things. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, they want to make money, right? They're trying to sell these headsets into schools.
It on the head. They want to make money. Yeah. And this is wrong. Let children grow up. Let children be children. Let children do what they want to do. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, Alex hit the nail on the head, which is so much of this poor mental health, anxiety, even poor behaviour is driven because children have fragmented attention spans because of all the short-form content and all the screens. So here we have another example of a tech company. OK, they're not the same tech companies, but the tech industry. One of them creates the problem and another one comes in and goes, oh, here's a £10,000
Here's what you need.
And they all make money. And then they all make money. And who suffers? The kids. So fewer screens at home, fewer screens in schools. Let's get to a place where we don't need these very expensive
VR headset.
Well, we've had some suggestions, haven't we, Alex, from people at home?
Lynn from Cumbria says, maybe if they did more physical education to get some excess energy out instead of being told they have ADHD. And I think that is, again, we'll move on from this story, but I think that's a big part of it.
We could talk about it. I could talk about it all day, but if we must.
And it's got our audience talking this morning. John says you just have to stop feeding kids sugary cereals. You can't concentrate in schools if you go in all hyped up.
Mixture of loads of stuff.
Yeah.
Should we move on to this tax bill that's being reported in the iPaper here, Christopher? Prince William is now reported to have paid up to £7 million in income tax on levies in 23-24, the financial year. This is unprecedented, isn't it?
It is, but good on him, because I think, you know, he wants to change the royal family. And I think we had all those stories years ago about the royal family not paying anything.
Yes.
And I think you think to yourself, well, why? They're making a lot of money, and he makes a lot of money from the Duchy of Cornwall. You know, he's fantastic in as much as he is the future of the royal family. His wife certainly is. I think she's very important in the royal family.
Yeah.
And I think it's good that he's seen to be paying this amount of money, even though it's so huge. But, you know, he obviously gets... I think he has to pay for everything out of that, too, you know. So it's good. It's good that he's doing that, like we all have to.
Yeah, do you agree, Jennifer?
I do, and I also think that, you know, yes, the prince very much wants to modernise the monarchy, but also the royal family probably feeling a little bit under the spotlight that the former Duke of York's lifestyle, this tawdry lifestyle, was funded by the public person and by the royal bank account. And so wanting to really have more accountability, more transparency, and act with total probity. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing.
Can I put this to both of you? Because I did have someone on my show over the weekend who was advocating for them to pay inheritance tax. Do you think that goes too far? Well, I guess the question would be, where does it end?
Well, that is a good question. I mean, considering their role in unifying and the United Kingdom and providing stability, the idea that they'd have to pay inheritance tax when they are the royal family is a bit nuts.
Do you agree?
I agree.
There we go. Consensus.
Very consensual panel here.
Jennifer, we do have time to talk about the couples hoping for a happy meal ever after.
Oh, this is a lovely story about the casualization of weddings. So instead of having formal, 3-course meal and silver service and white tablecloths, couples are increasingly going for food trucks and more of a festival vibe. Yeah. And some even bringing in, burgers, McDonald's, whatever it may be, expressing their personality and their favourites. I personally think the wonderful thing about weddings is their specialness.
Yes. Yeah.
The fact that they're unique and that you wear a dress you wouldn't wear on a normal day, and that it is by definition unique.
And the wedding breakfast, that sit-down meal is, I think, one of the nicest parts of the day.
It is.
You get to chat to everyone at your table, get to share stories, hear the speeches.
The
Absolutely.
toasts.
Yeah, the toast. Yeah, I wouldn't want
What did you have to eat on your wedding day?
She had a chicken nugget wedding cake.
We had steak and we had fish. I had the fish.
Very nice.
Sea bass, yeah, it was lovely.
Very nice.
And then meringue for pudding.
But I think we've always, surely all married couples have chosen what they want to eat on that day.
Well, as long as everyone's happy, I suppose.
Yeah,
and they have exactly what they want on their day.
As long as there was not a Big Mac in sight.
Yeah.
Big Mac.
Not at my wedding. Not at your wedding, Ellie, no.
Jennifer Biggins, thank you very much.
Thank
really
you,
good to
you
see
two.
you both
Lovely
this
to
morning.
see you.
Thank you.
Still to come, a day at the seaside turned into an ordeal with a couple who got stranded at the top of the Blackpool Tower. We'll bring you that next.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast. Rather cloudy today, but lots of places will be dry this bank holiday with some spells of sunshine, but there is the risk of some heavy showers developing, particularly across the south. But this morning, lots of cloud across the UK, some outbreaks of rain and drizzle, murky in places. Best of the sunshine first thing across parts of Scotland and the far south of England, but the sunshine will trigger some heavy showers here as we move through into the afternoon. Some brighter breaks developing elsewhere, but largely dry for most. But some colder air and showers filtering into northern Scotland. Here temperatures 10 to 13 degrees, but in the sunshine 18 or 19 degrees across southern England. Into Monday evening, the heavy showers across the south will ease away. Further showers, though, are expected across much of Scotland, and these will push southwards as we head into the early hours, and winds starting to come from a northerly direction. A few showers reaching parts of Northern Ireland into the evening time, and some sunshine to end the day across northern parts of England, and a mixed picture for the rest of England into Wales. Still the odd rumble of thunder possible as the showers slowly ease. Overnight we'll see some longer clear spells starting to develop, some showers in between and under the clear skies, and light winds across England and Wales. We could see a few mist and fog patches forming. Some longer spells of rain still possible across the northern parts of Scotland here. Temperatures down to 4 or 5 degrees for most of us, generally in high single figures, low double digits for southern England. So it does mean on Tuesday a brighter start, some spells of sunshine in places, but showery rain across Scotland, some colder air continuing to filter southwards as we go through the day. Some showers bubbling up, but plenty of sunny spells. And for everyone, particularly in the north and the west, feeling a little chillier. Temperatures more like the low teens to mid-teens, still reaching around 17 or 18 towards southeast.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for the thousands of you who are becoming friends of GB News each and every week. Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A75 is currently closed in both directions at Annan due to a road traffic incident significantly affecting traffic flow in the area. Meanwhile, in Greater London, heavy congestion is causing approximately 10 minutes delay on the M4 spur southbound between Junction 4 and Junction 4A, with normal traffic conditions expected between 8:15 and 8:30 this morning. On the trains, major engineering work continues at Liverpool Lime Street for Avanti West Coast services, while cross-country trains face significant delays between York and Darlington due to extensive planned maintenance. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
We're counting down to a spectacular summer. It's your chance to win £76,543 and 21 pence in totally tax-free cash. A lump sum that you could have in time to splash out with this summer. And because it's tax-free, you get to keep every single penny. For a chance to win, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Brave. Are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline.
Should we be worried about it? From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What we're going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. Sir Keir Starmer has arrived in Armenia for a key European summit. Are we about to see a Brexit betrayal?
Yes, the Prime Minister is expected to push for closer defence ties with the European Union, including joining a multi-billion-pound loan scheme to support Ukraine.
We're facing a war on two fronts.
the Ukraine war, which is now in its 5th year, and the Iran conflict, both of those are impacting every single household.
Yes, the Prime Minister is spending his bank holiday Monday with 45 other European leaders here in Armenia. He says it's all about making things better for us back at home. I'll bring you the details shortly.
And a deadly virus scare at sea as 3 people die and a British passenger is fighting for his life after a suspected outbreak on a cruise ship.
Hello, good morning from Washington, D.C., where President Trump has launched a fresh military effort to reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
A day at the seaside turned into an ordeal as a couple was stranded for hours at the top of the Blackpool Tower after a lift failure. We're going to talk to them at 9:15.
And sticks, bells and centuries of tradition. Morris dancing takes place across Britain this bank holiday, celebrating the start of the summer.
Some of us will see some spells of sunshine this bank holiday Monday, and others some heavy thundery showers. Find out all the weather details coming up soon.
Good morning, it's just gone 9 o'clock. I'm Ellie Costello.
And I'm Alex Armstrong, and this is GB News Breakfast. It's a special day for some people, isn't it? Because it's May the 4th, Ellie. And
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan, May the 4th be with you indeed. It's a celebration of everything Star Wars today.
It's one of your favourite days of the year.
It is. Well, yes, it might be a slight exaggeration, but yeah, I do.
Says the man who was openly saying on this programme that you would buy the Star Wars poster for £20,000, which is up for auction.
If I was wealthy enough to be that fortunate, to be that wealthy, I probably would try and buy it. Yeah. I have taken my little brothers to see every premiere of the latest Star Wars movies as well.
Oh, that's
it's a little family tradition.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
You're passing the baton.
I am. To a new generation.
To your baby brothers, very good. And he's trying to enlist me into this.
Yeah, she's never seen Star Wars before.
Yeah.
Never seen Star Wars.
And I don't think I'm going to start.
I'm going to get you a list of bank holiday. She's got a marathon to do today.
No, don't think so. You can set it for me as my homework.
All right, well, I'll test you tomorrow morning.
We'll see if I ever get round to it. Anyway, happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you to celebrate. gbnews.com/you'll say.
Yeah. Should we go to our top story?
I think we probably should, because the government has announced that it intends to start talks to join the European Union's €90 billion or £78 billion loan for Ukraine, as it seeks to bolster support for Kyiv and deepen defence ties with the bloc.
Yes, the Prime Minister is in Armenia, where he will tell European leaders gathering at the capital Yerevan that Britain wants to work more closely with them.
Well, let's speak to GB News chief political correspondent Catherine Forster, who joins us live from Armenia now. Morning to you, Catherine. You spoke to the Prime Minister this morning, didn't you? And you asked him what he was doing there to make things better for people in Britain. What did he tell you?
Yes, good morning from Armenia. Well, it's only the second visit ever of a British Prime Minister here. Margaret Thatcher came back in 1990, but the Prime Minister is very keen to say that he's here to make things better for people at home. Let's start by looking at what he said just a little bit earlier.
We're facing a war on 2 fronts. The Ukraine war, which is now in its 5th year, and the Iran conflict. Both of those are impacting every single household in the United Kingdom. We can see that already in relation to the impact on energy. So it's vital that we work with international leaders on both fronts. So today I'll be discussing Ukraine and what more we can do to support Ukraine and make sure that we get the lasting peace that we need. And of course on Iran and getting the Strait of Hormuz open. We're working with European and other leaders on that. That will directly affect everybody back at home, because that is impacting all of us, and it's vital that we do that work. In relation to the EU loan that we are discussing participating in, that is very good for Ukraine, because it will give Ukraine capability that it desperately needs in year 5 of this conflict. It's very good for the UK, because it'll be capability that leads to jobs in the United Kingdom, and it's very good for UK-EU relations.
So leaders talking here about how they deal with war on two fronts. These European political community meetings first started after Russia invaded Ukraine back in 2022. It was the idea of French President Macron to get all the European leaders together, not just those in the European Union. And of course there's been lots of talk with President Zelensky of Ukraine. The first stop for the Prime Minister yesterday was a meeting with him where he thanked us particularly for what he described as the King's strong words in support of Ukraine in the United States. And now today we've got this announcement that the UK is going to try to get in on this EU loan scheme to Ukraine, although of course we wanted to get in on the SAFE programme, massive military spending opportunities, and the EU set the bill, the entrance fee if you like, so high we decided that it was not worth our while. So watch this space. But of course it's not just about Ukraine, because now we've got this other war that we're having very obvious knock-on effects, given that the Strait of Hormuz is currently closed. And I think Armenia is a really fitting place actually for us to be, because we are where Europe and Asia meet, and just 160 miles south of here is the border with Iran. And if you go north there's Georgia, and then there is Russia. So we're literally here sandwiched between both those wars that are having very real impacts for all the people of Europe. Just one more thing, Mark Carney of Canada has also been invited along.
This is many of our viewers are writing in saying Britain now is at a time where we are struggling to up our own defence bill. We've got multiple reports in the press today about the state of our military, yet we're offering more aid to Ukraine. Will the Prime Minister be making announcements today about what kind of financial aid we'll be giving them?
Well, we do give Ukraine a lot of aid. I can dig out the figures for you a little bit later, but my understanding, talking to people in the Prime Minister's team last night about that specifically, was some of that is a gift, but quite a lot of it now is in the form of loans that Ukraine will ultimately repay.
OK, Catherine, thank you so much.
It's May, bank holiday today. Happy bank holiday to everyone celebrating. And
and actually, we did get a comment earlier from somebody who said, please can you shout out those who are working today, those in the hospitality industry, those in the emergency services, those working in retail. So I think that's a very good idea. Us, of course, everybody in the media, everyone in the newsrooms up and down the country. Happy bank holiday, and thank you for working for us.
Indeed, because you make it worth it, don't you, for everyone who's having a day off. But it is also a traditional English custom today, deeply rooted in celebrating the arrival of summer, and that is Morris dancing.
Yeah, I love watching Morris dancing, don't you?
Me too. I love it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it originated around the 15th century, and the dancing was a symbolic ritual designed to celebrate fertility, community and the renewal of life.
Well, our reporter Anna Riley joins the Great Yorkshire Morris team in Paul Wharfdale and to find out more.
Morris dancing, a centuries-old English tradition passed down through the generations. Decked in bells, ribbons and creative costumes, Morris dancers leap and twirl to the beat. During the May bank holiday, the folk dancing is performed in towns and villages across the country. At Poole Village Hall in West Yorkshire, the Great Yorkshire Morris team are practising their steps.
It's part of the thread of our culture. When I started in 1976, there were only about 3 Morris teams in the whole of Yorkshire. And we went to a village, the general reaction then was, oh, look at these funny men who were there. We want to keep the traditions alive. We enjoy the practice as much as dancing out. We do collect money and we've got to pay our expenses for the practice hall, but any of surplus money goes to charities.
Once rooted in ancient fertility rites, Morris dancing now brings people together in music, movement and community. There are more than 12,500 Morris dancers around Britain in single-sex and mixed sides, all keeping the genre going.
The sort of gear that I'm wearing for is, apart from the Yorkshire flat cap, this is fairly traditional Cotswold Morris gear. Great Yorkshire Morris do Cotswold. We also do Border Morris, which is from the borders between Wales and England. We also do longsword, which is a Yorkshire tradition, and we do rapper, which is from the northeast. It's been around since the 15th century, and there was a bit of a Victorian reinvention again, but it's just about fun, people enjoying themselves.
A living cultural practice with deep historical ties and regional diversity, Morris dancing is here to stay. Anna Riley, GB News, Poole in Wharfdale.
Celebration of a wonderful English tradition.
Yeah.
9:10.
All right, some breaking news this morning. At least 10 people have been taken to hospital after a shooting at a party near Oklahoma City in the United States, with many more expected to be injured. We'll, of course, bring you the latest on that developing story throughout the day here on GB News. But yet another shocking incident in America. Terrible, terrible news. Our thoughts are with those injured. Let's pray for some good news for those who are in hospital at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Just coming up to 11 minutes past 9, and just time to tell you about the Great British Giveaway now. £76,543 up for grabs and 21 pence. Lots of you commenting on that number. 7654321.
Countdown to summer.
Countdown to summer, exactly. Here are all of the details that you need.
We're counting down to a spectacular summer. It's your chance to win £76,543 and 21 pence in totally tax-free cash. A lump sum that you could have in time to splash out with this summer. Imagine all the things you could do with that cash. Give the garden a glow up, max out on a new motor, or just make sure the coming year is your year. And because it's tax-free, you get to keep every single penny for a chance to win £76,543 and 21 pence in tax-free cash. Text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Well, get this story. A couple were stranded on Blackpool Tower with their 6-year-old grandson. Can you believe that?
Up there for hours, apparently. We're going to meet them next.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray, are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What we're going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
There's lots going on today in the world, isn't there?
There certainly is. Bank holiday. I think a lot of people will be heading to Blackpool for bank holiday. We are hoping to speak to a couple who went out. They were meant to be going for a really wholesome family day.
They were.
Yesterday, heading up to Blackpool, went up the tower with their grandson. They got stuck because the lift was out of action. So we're trying to connect with them now. They are down from the tower, you'll be glad to know. Hopefully we can speak to them in a few minutes. In the meantime, we can speak to Miriam Cates and Chops, Christopher Hope, who's here with us for Britain's Newsroom, which is coming up at 9:30. What have you got for us?
Well, we've got a couple of really interesting reports, actually. One is from the Centre for Social Justice that says that children are more likely now to own a smartphone than to be able to throw a ball properly at age 10 because they're just spending so much time inside on a screen. And over half of primary school children now don't have enough exercise to be moderately active, which is obviously very worrying.
There are concerns in hospitality about the fact you may have to pay a charge to stay wherever you are in the country, £1 a night, £2.5 a night, which soon racks up for families on low incomes. So that's a real concern.
So I think this story is really interesting because when you go abroad, there is often a tourist tax, isn't there, of kind of €6 or €7 a night, which is obviously not nothing, but it's not huge. So I kind of thought, well, what's the problem if it goes to local authorities? But actually, I was reading this morning, and because we have such high VAT already on hospitality, 20%, whereas in some parts of Europe, it's only kind of 5%. So actually, it's going to be a huge
And if it's £2 per person per night for a family, £8 a night times 7, it's £56 a week, which for those on low incomes is a lot of money.
A lot of money. Do you think we should have a tourist tax here?
Well, if we didn't have such high VAT, I'd kind of think there's an argument for it. But given that the VAT is so high anyway, it's going to really knock hospitality.
Yeah, it certainly is.
But it's not shaping up to be a great summer, is it? Your flight's going to get cancelled.
Not according to Simon Calder.
Yeah, he's allayed those fears.
Simon Calder, who's a friend of the programme, you will know, the travel expert, he said there's nothing to be worried about when it comes to travel this summer. Because those companies, they are, of course, desperate to make money, aren't they? So those flights will continue to take off. And he said, actually, so many bargains to be had right now because so many people aren't booking holidays thinking they're going to get cancelled.
Well, I've booked flight and ferry.
Have you really?
Probably very wise.
Miriam.
I'm going to cancel one.
The idea is they can't cancel them at short notice, can they? So
is that right?
Yeah, so you have more certainty of going.
Yeah, get a
fewer flights available.
Package deal, you're more protected. That's what he was telling us the other week as well. Can I tell you about this story? Because I know this would really wind both of you up as well. We were reporting about... just to get your blood boiling. The Guardian reporting today, schools are using virtual reality headsets to help pupils cope with exam stress, particularly those with ADHD. I've got some views on this. Miriam, I know you will.
I mean, just how utterly ridiculous. Where do you even start? I mean, why are they stressed in the first place? Perhaps because too much pressure is being put on them. But how is technology the answer to that?
Yeah.
Just get
Just
out
go for
and
a
kick
walk
a ball.
outside.
Perhaps that is the answer. What really annoys me about this is all about big tech making money. They think of all these kind of things to sell into the classroom. There's no evidence they improve results, and yet they make billions and billions of dollars from our education system.
I can see the case for it, though. I think some children with ADHD can't concentrate. Anything which brings them into the zone of concentration and learn to concentrate isn't good. So I think, big tech, but equally it could be a solution for young kids.
But so much ADHD now is or ADHD-like symptoms are caused by the trouble with concentration funds caused by phones.
Of course.
So more tech is not.
So in a sense,
really
we adults have
answer.
caused the problems the children are putting up with. Let's try and get them getting better.
What is the solution? Because I know with my kids, what you really want is to kick them out of the house and them to go and play out on the street in the the park with other children. But because all the other children now are inside on screens, it's very, very difficult to know. You can't solve it as an individual parent. We need some sort of group action.
We're also looking at issues with defence. No money for defence. That's a big concern, of course. We haven't got any commitment on when they're going to publish this defence industrial plan, or even get towards hitting that 3.5% target of GDP by 2035. So big concerns there.
And that links to another story that we're doing on welfare, a ballooning of the number of families receiving huge amounts of welfare benefits, well over £60,000 a year. If we're spending all that money on welfare, how can we spend it on defence? They're definitely linked.
Yeah. 16,000 homes in the UK on over £60,000 a year. So that's double the average income in a household. I mean, it's extraordinary.
The benefit cap's been lifted now, so the more children you have, the more you get. That was taken away by George Osborne in 2016, I think, from memory.
And there's a big link with nationality as well. Some nationalities claiming far more than others. But also, just ask the question, what's the point of working? Because, of course, these figures are about people on average wage. So I think the average wage is 38,000, so take-home pay about 30,000. But if you're a young person starting out and you're on the minimum wage, your take-home pay is £20,000 a year. So
that question of benefits versus defence spending, asked by George Robertson, has not been asked by the
government. It doesn't pay to work necessarily, does it?
Got some big problems, but who's going to sort them out?
Yeah, well, hopefully you two can give us some ideas in the next few hours. Thank you, Miriam. Chopper, we'll see you shortly. But we want to talk to you about this Blackpool Tower ordeal. It was an ordeal. We've got the daughter of the couple that were stuck on the tower. She's joining us now to talk about this for 6 hours. Oh, my goodness. A broken lift caused this ordeal. Tell us more, please.
So we was at our stepson's football tournament in Blackpool, and then we got a phone call to say that my parents and my nephew went up the Blackpool Tower, which my nephew didn't actually want to go up because he was terrified. However, they ended up going up and phone call to say that they're stuck up there, and they got given foil, blankets, hand warmers, but they went up at about 12:10 and didn't get down till 4:30.
Rebecca, what had happened? The lift had obviously broken. Were there no steps to get down?
No steps, just a lift. And there's my nephew. So he was playing, made his own like bowling. And I think they said there was about 50 of them stuck up there. No toilet, so they had to bring them a porta toilet.
Oh, God.
No.
Yeah, nothing to eat or drink.
Well, Rebecca,
but they did say they treated them really well.
We've got dads here as well, haven't we, Mick? Thanks for joining us. We've seen your pictures throughout this morning here on GB. You've been playing them. Oh, my goodness, what an ordeal. And what did you do to pass the time for the 4.5 hours you were stuck up there?
Nothing. just trying to entertain young Marty. We just walked round and round. Just not knowing how long we were going to be there.
Yeah. Did you at least have good views that day? Was the weather good? Did you get to enjoy the view?
Yeah. It was great.
Oh, well, that's one small silver lining. What about your grandson? How did he keep himself entertained? We saw him with the ball earlier. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he made his own game up. But it was good as gold. It's, it's one of them things. What can you do?
Yeah. But Marty, inventive young lad. Maybe he could be an inspiration for all those other kids who are struggling to entertain themselves. And there he is.
Marty.
What a top man, Marty. Top man. And congratulations on making your own game to keep yourself entertained. What we love to see. Well, Mick, Kath, Marty, thanks for joining us this morning, and I'm glad you're not stuck at the top of Blackpool Tower still. I'm sure
we're glad you're down, safe and sound. Thank you very much, all of you.
The staff were brilliant.
Oh, well, that's brilliant. That's good to know, because we have got this right reply from the general manager of Blackpool Tower, who says on Sunday afternoon the lift transporting guests to the top of Blackpool Tower developed an unexpected fault. As a result, a number of visitors were held in the lift and at the tower top until engineers arrived on site and safely returned them to ground level. At all times, our guests were safe. However, we fully recognise that this was not an ideal experience, and we sincerely apologise for the inconvenience and discomfort caused to our guests. All affected guests were offered food, refreshments, and were spoken to individually by a member of our senior management team who offered to resolve any issues the incident had caused them.
There you go. All right. We've got Britain's newsroom coming up. I think you've already told us what's happening, but...
That sounds like a nightmare.
I was on Former Beach yesterday looking at Blackpool Tower and I couldn't do it there.
It could have been you, Christopher Holmes.
Could have been you.
But you're here instead.
Time
Here's
for
your
weather.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast. Rather cloudy today, but lots of places will be dry this bank holiday with some spells of sunshine, but there is the risk of some heavy showers developing, particularly across the south. But this morning, lots of cloud across the UK, some outbreaks of rain and drizzle, murky in places. Best of the sunshine first thing across parts of Scotland and the far south of England, but the sunshine will trigger some heavy showers here as we move through into the afternoon. Some brighter breaks developing elsewhere, but largely dry for most. But some colder air and showers filtering into northern Scotland. Here temperatures 10 to 13 degrees, but in the sunshine 18 or 19 degrees across southern England. Into Monday evening, the heavy showers across the south will ease away. Further showers, though, are expected across much of Scotland, and these will push southwards as we head into the early hours, and winds starting to come from a northerly direction. A few showers reaching parts of Northern Ireland into the evening time, and some sunshine to end the day across northern parts of England, and a mixed picture for the rest of England into Wales. Still the odd rumble of thunder possible as the showers slowly ease. Overnight we'll see some longer clear spells starting to develop, some showers in between and under the clear skies and light winds across England and Wales. We could see a few mist and fog patches forming. Some longer spells of rain still possible across the northern parts of Scotland. Here temperatures down to 4 or 5 degrees for most of us, generally in high single figures, low double digits for southern England. So it does mean on Tuesday a brighter start, some spells of sunshine in places, but showery rain across Scotland, some colder air continuing to filter southwards as we go through the day. Some showers bubbling up, but plenty of sunny spells. And for everyone, particularly in the north and the west, feeling a little chillier, temperatures more like the low teens to mid-teens, still reaching around 17 or 18 towards southeast.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go, or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A75 remains closed at Annan due to a serious road traffic incident. In Thurrock, the A13 eastbound exit slip to the A1012 is experiencing approximately 10-minute delays, but normal traffic is expected by 9:15. Meanwhile, Surrey drivers face queues on the A30 eastbound between junction M25 and the A308. With return to normal conditions anticipated by 9:15. And on the trains, major engineering work causes disruptions at Liverpool Lime Street for Avanti West Coast services, while cross-country has significant delays between York and Darlington. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray. Are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You have the power then.
Yeah, as I
And
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters. Real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact that Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning, it's 9:30 on Monday the 4th of May. We are live across the United Kingdom. This is Britain's Newsroom with Christopher Hope and Miriam Pace.
Are we witnessing another Brexit betrayal? The Prime Minister seeks for closer ties with the European Union and a loan scheme for Ukraine as he lands in Armenia for a key global summit.
We're facing a war on two fronts, the Ukraine war, which is now in its 5th year, and the Iran conflict. Both of those are impacting every single household.
And over 500,000 households could be receiving more on benefits than workers on average salaries, despite the introduction of a benefits cap.
Britain's armed forces could be tight for cash as a former military chief warns we'll have new weapons until 2030.
And 10-year-olds are more likely to own a phone than throw a ball properly, a shocking investigation reveals. So, Chris, before the last election, lots of Brexiteers warned that a Labour government would want to get us closer to the EU to reintegrate us with the single market. Does seem to be what's happening.
It does, Miriam, but I think what's happening here is they're trying to do the kind of bits around